And Grumgur's Tavern is open again for the next installment of the party's endeavors. Last time, the group was traveling around the mansion here. And again, I don't know why that's always open. But the party made their way back into the royal chambers of the mansion. As they made their way out there, they noticed a very thick smog that was kind of filling in the entire mansion. Looking around, starting to investigate a little bit, as Elred kind of peeked out the doorway, you saw this raging inferno just kind of centered on the center of the dining area. It was starting to leach its way into the royal area where Sidolphus would sit. Looking at the ground, they noticed what looked to be some kind of accelerant poured along the ground. And in a quick action by Elred, noticing the stained glass windows in the back of the room, and the gem glowing out of Trastan's bag, Elred was able to break down the 3-inch thick glass that was there, and the party managed to take their carpets and make their way out shortly before the mansion itself completely exploded. As they were dodging debris, flying around, trying to make sure nobody was hurt with the blacksmith in tow, they made their way down towards the temple to make sure everything was okay there. In rounds, each party member took their own actions, deciding exactly where they should be helping if need be. Trastan and Elred made their way to a inn that seemed to be hit the hardest. One of the pillars of the mansion there kind of landed right in the center of this tavern, killing what they only saw as 2 individuals, human male and a elven female. They were covering up their half-elven children as they were attempting to save their lives. Everyone else seemed to be relatively unharmed other than the dwarven bartender. That leg was completely shattered. They made their way back, Neptune doing some scouting, kind to figure out the current state of the city. They made their way down to the Thieves Guild as well to kind of see what Simon was thinking in the realm of taking over the city now that Sidolphus seems to have left on his own volition. And I kind of taking a short rest and keeping track of everything that was coming in and out of the temple. Noticed 2 half-elven children when Elred and Trastan were laying down for their rest. Emery decided to keep watch over the children, since that's kind of what he's been doing for a while. Since the children no longer have any parents, they're planning a proper burial for them, and they will hopefully be laid to rest. Tongue-tied. Jacob decided to go check out the area where the mansion was and trying to determine exactly what caused the explosion. On his way back, actually on his way there, as he got up to it and looked into the center of where that mansion was, there was a giant meteorite that seemed to be created in some magical fashion that was centered right where the fire was. He scraped a little bit of the dust off and into a vial that he was carrying. And on his way back to the temple, he noticed a couple kind of sketchy individuals. One stood out to him in particular. One had a scar on the scalp, as he was pretty much shaven clean, and his 2 canine teeth were completely encased in platinum. And him and a couple of his what looked to be lackeys were packing up their carriage and making their way out of town as quickly as possible. As Jacob tried to get a better look and run after them, they bolted out of view and seemingly out of the city. As Jacob came back to the temple, he explained what he saw to the rest of the party except Trastan, who was currently napping. And after a couple more hours, he awoke and then met up with the rest of the party, and Jacob re-explained everything that he saw, and Trastan was visibly angry, I would say. He was not happy. Not his usual self. And that's where we'll begin. So, Traston, with your newly found information and the description of this individual, what are your guys' next actions?
Shit. And you have no idea whatsoever which direction those folks went.
Nope.
Jacob, based off their trajectory and the way that they were heading immediately for the exit of the city.
Jacob? Tongue-tied, what's up?
Yes.
Yes, tongue-tied, or yes, they will. They went yes direction.
Which direction did they go?
They headed towards the outskirts of the city. Based off of the way you were looking, you could see that they were heading towards the exit, but after that point, they kind of got out of your sight. You couldn't see exactly which way out of the city they took.
Okay.
You do know, since you're kind of from this area, to the north is, I gotta get the name of this. It's the largest desert that you are aware of. It is... Oh no, did it not save? Yeah, it didn't save. I'll get you the name of the desert. But you know that the largest desert, basically in the entire world of Azoric, is to the north.
And that's probably where he would be going, is what I thought.
It's the most secluded area and probably one of the hardest places to find people, just because it's so vast and there's frequent sandstorms.
All I know, Traston, is that he was heading out of the city, but I wasn't able to keep an eye on him the whole time, so I don't know exactly where he went. But he could have headed up towards that desert, though.
If he made it that far, he's gone. Shit. Well, keeping that in mind, I still think Sadolphus needs to die before we leave the city. Bar none. Same thing we did with Granite. Any opposed?
We don't know if he's here in the city, though.
You did not see him in the mansion. You kind of get the gist that basically everyone who was related to the Fourth in the city is kind of just bailed. Whether they were killed or just completely disappeared, you're not 100% sure, but there's really no one left.
I remember that now, yeah. And I'd be familiar relatively with the desert to the north.
The desert's where you spent most of your childhood.
Yeah. I figured.
All I'm saying is that if we don't know if Sadolphus is here, we can leave the rest of it in the hands of the citizens and we can go after this man you're after.
You all prepared to make a trek through the desert?
No.
We have carpets. Why would we trek?
Carpets or not, the sun you can't get away from.
Made the carpets fly above us.
Does that work? Can you do that?
I don't know. We can try it right now.
All right.
Pull the carpet out.
Okay.
Say the command word. Make it rise
Okay.
up.
Yep.
Try to put it above me and then grab it by its handle and then just pull along.
It does seem to kind of float there. It doesn't seem to be very stable. It's not used to just kind of being flown like a kite. But it does seem to kind of hold shape a little bit, so depending on the size of the carpet, you may need one or two people to kind of lead it along. But you should be able to stay underneath it for a little bit of cover.
So do we know a lot of what happens in the desert?
Traston would be the most familiar, depending on how well his memory recalls, since it was quite a long time ago. It's been roughly 10, 15 years, I believe.
Would Jacob know anything about the desert?
Not as much. You really just know that it exists after what happened in your hometown. You were kind of taken far away from it, so you have very little information since you were so young at the time.
Mhm.
Man, if only it would last longer.
And that is the Whispering Desert. So, based off of kind of what you remember from your childhood, though, you do remember frequent sandstorms, where you guys would kind of hole up in some of the larger sand dunes to kind of avoid getting pummeled by large grains of sand over, a couple hours time. They're pretty quick and they come and go rather violently. Probably one or two a week. They're pretty frequent in the case of being this close to the ocean and having that ocean winds and just kind of carrying that sand as far southeast is typically the way they come, or they come from the northwest heading southeast typically.
What's the next closest town?
The next closest town is, well, you don't really know. You're not
Okay, question for Trash.
familiar.
Be this one. And then any settlements up in the deep, deep desert.
I guess my question for the party would be or Traston specifically, where would they be likely to head next if they're fleeing the city?
Shit, there's all kinds of trouble we can get into out there.
You and Jacob kind of both know that it's a pretty decent place to hide because of the frequency of the sandstorms. Those who are strong enough to brave that are able to hide out for a pretty long time because most people won't go out there without some kind of reasoning. But the desert's so vast that it hasn't been fully explored. So there were some alcoves that Traston kind of hid in as a kid when he was just kind of playing around, which probably gets some use by other individuals as well.
I just imagine little baby Trash down in the desert, like, it's playtime, runs into a little cavern. That's a deadly desert, but it's fun! Is that how it was, Max?
For the most part, give or take,
Until the Fire Nation attacked.
to the Fire Nation attack.
Zuko's Bay.
So, what is your guys' plan?
Anna doesn't really have an opinion one way or the other. She's kind of just along for the ride at this point.
I think if he made his way out there, and Sidolphus is not anywhere to be found, we had a couple options. Try to find Sidolphus wherever the hell he is. Go out into the desert and go looking wherever the hell they went. Or wait. And there's a fourth option, which I have a hunch that Sidolphus and our Platinum K9 friend might be in the same area through different means of locomotion. So I say we head out, get whatever supplies we can, try to leave as much for the folks that are still here as we can. Take what we need and head out as soon as possible. Because the longer we wait, the more ground he's got on us, and that is a huge disadvantage out there. Whispering Desert will chew us up and spit us out if we're not ready, but it'll also give him a nice area
I definitely
which he
agree.
can just disappear into.
I agree. we
There's
should-
no. Sorry, there's no predicting of these sandstorms, is there?
Not really. You get a
So
couple
the tracks
winds,
could
you get a couple-
already be.
it's on you.
The tracks might already be covered because of the sandstorms.
I think
So
that
we should probably stop talking and get going if we're going.
Yeah, let's get our supplies and then let's head out.
All right, let's go.
So, which way are you guys got? Which way are you guys heading?
I'm gonna look
Obviously.
for any kind of store that's somewhat intact.
Okay.
Probably further away from the larger impact area, ground zero.
Okay.
Kind of skirting around that, looking for any. Because it's like afternoon, right? I slept through the morning.
It's roughly about noon.
Okay.
Between noon and 1. So,
So just looking around.
just kind of
Okay.
looking around.
A shop that's open and looks like they're stocked enough.
Okay.
And not in too much dire straits.
Go ahead and just give me a general perception check. And I'm gonna assume the rest of you are following
Natural
Crest.
20.
You did it. Okay.
My perception check's a 19.
Okay. So, you guys just kind of walking around where you guys were previously, where you bought the health potions from that one shop. Looked to be pretty run down. The shop itself looks to have some damage from the explosion that occurred, but outside there, you see Simon and Lee. One thing you do notice is Lee isn't fully covered. The hood is completely down and the face mask is not there, revealing a very noticeable tabaxi. And they're kind of standing there and they're handing out basically rations, knowing that people would head to that location because of the local following it has. So, what do you guys want to do?
Maybe I think Elwood would probably go up to Lee, ask
Okay.
him where he can get some good supplies for the desert, or if they have any they can spare.
You're going to need some water skins, decent sized canvas, some rope.
Okay. So,
And plenty
as you guys
tender.
kind of chit chat a little bit back and forth. The desert, you say? Don't necessarily have water skins, at least not here, not on hand. But I do have a couple of health potions you guys can take. Looking at the ones that he has in his hand, they seem to be greater health potions. He's got about one for each of you in his hands. No.
And, Tristan, would you also agree that we would need some cloaks to keep us protected from the desert's winds and sand?
I already got mine, but I'd recommend everyone else to grab one as well. Something tough, burlap, canvas. Not fur. I hope that's an obvious point, but just wanted to make sure.
Fur, got it.
No, okay.
Okay, so Elrod wants a fur cloak.
Elrod's already looking for a stall that sells cloaks. He's gonna look for the fur one.
Okay.
Furriest one he can
Now,
find.
you know if the butcher has any like discarded hides he hasn't made use of.
There might be. He kind of points a little bit further down, to where the shop would be. You can go check and see if he's got anything, but I can't guarantee if he has anything left. A lot of the resources have kind of been used up by the rest of the city here. But
Very
yeah,
well.
feel free, go check.
Go check.
Okay.
Roam in that
Anybody
direction.
else? Okay. Anybody else want to ask Lee anything?
Before I go, I want to ask him how do you think folks are faring at this point?
I think with our help, they're doing a little better. A lot of the injured have already made their way to us, or we have found them. We've had a stash of health potions down there for a long time to prepare for such a catastrophe such as this. But they seem to be coping with the idea at the moment. But everything seems to be going swimmingly.
Excellent. And by the way, as an aside, before we left the temple, I wanted to let Emery know our general idea of what we're going to
Okay.
go and do.
Yep, that's fine.
So I ask Lee, is there any idea where you could think of where they might be heading? Unless they're just trying to be get lost in the desert?
I know a few of our men have followed some of the cloaked individuals out into the desert, but it never fails that they get hit with a sandstorm somewhere along the way. And they lose the trail as their vision just completely is covered by the sand. But they were heading somewhere in the westerly direction of the desert.
So western. Well, it's better than nothing, I guess. Alright. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys may need? You may check with any of the other members that have the same kind of garbs. They may have some resources on them that I just don't have here at the moment. We've kind of got stations set up all across the city to kind of organize things a little bit. Okay. As he kind of turns around and goes back to helping some of the other individuals that are walking up and requesting assistance. I assume you guys are now heading in the direction of the butcher shop.
I was already heading towards a cloak.
Oh, you're heading to Cloaks. He's heading to Butcher's.
Anna's gonna follow Elred to the cloak place.
Okay. And Jacob. And Neptune.
I'm gonna be busy for a second.
Okay.
Jacob's just gonna follow Traston.
Okay. Okay. So, Elred, Anna, and we'll say Neptune went there as well. You guys make it over to the cloak shop, which is actually pretty close to where Lee was pointing for Traston and the butcher shop. As you kind of get over there, there seems to be an individual standing outside. The front half of his shop seems to be caved in, like the foundation cracked and it moved. It's slanted backwards now. He seems to have a table out front with the what looks to be just pretty basic cloaks. Really any color that you could think of. Just kind of laid out right there, and he's just kind of waiting for somebody to ask for some help or give him some business.
I'm gonna walk up to him. Do you have any magical cloaks, or are these only just regular ones?
Unfortunately, I can't do magical cloaks. All these are just pretty basic, just to kind of keep the sun from beating on you.
We'll probably need a few of those, Elred, for the rest of the party.
Yes, yes. What are your furriest cloaks?
He
My
just
cloak
kind
of
of,
flying okay to use.
yeah, that should be fine.
All
He
right,
just kind of
making
looks, he looks down, and he's like, looks up at the sun, realizes
Anna's-
he's in a short sleeve shirt and just like some very basic shorts that look to be cut from a potato sack.
Anna's gonna look at him and say, "We're heading out into the desert. What would you recommend?"
I wouldn't recommend fur. You'll burn alive. Sweat to
our
death.
Right.
Our friend said they were the good ones.
They're good for the winter, but it's very hot, and you're not gonna want that. Unless you wanna, bake.
How crispy we talking?
Very, very crispy.
Death Valley.
All right, we'll take just see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What, 5 people?
Kind of looking at Neptune, you see that he already has kind of a cloak over his head. That seems to be covering a good portion of his body.
And Traston already has one as well. And Jacob has always been sketchy. So we'll get 3 cloaks just in case.
Okay, any specific color you would like?
So, let's see, who all doesn't have one? Anna, me, and no.
And Jacob's the toss-up.
Yeah.
Neptune
So-
seems to have a cloak, and you said Traston already had one.
Do you have one in pretty pink?
Pretty pink. Of course I do. As he kind of turns around, digs through what looks to be a crate, and he pulls this bright neon pink cloak out.
Anna's gonna look at Elred disgusted, thinking that he is picking this out for her.
Does Elred notice her disgusted look?
Yes, you can feel the disgusted presence for the bright pink.
But I'm gonna get this for our friend Jacob.
That makes more sense. She kind of just smirks and looks away.
Okay.
So we'll take one of those. Anna, what color do you want?
Do you have anything green?
Yes, it's right here. As he kind of points right down to his right-hand side, you see this like forest green cloak. It's a little darker than a kind of like regular green, but You can
On a
definitely
scale
tell
of
it is a green
on a
color.
scale of 1 to Elred, how green is it?
I forget how dark the green is on Elrid.
Why
That's
did I
pretty-
forget
it's
Elrid
fairly
was
dark.
green?
He's Shrek.
It's a little lighter than Elrid's green.
She's gonna take that one.
Okay.
And then she's also going to ask for a blue one.
A blue one, you say? Yes. What blue? Royal blue, navy blue, black blue, regular blue?
Royal blue's fine.
Okay. He kind of turns around, reaches back in that same crate, and pulls out this very... It's a very good blue. It looks to be a little brighter than normal, but... Maybe just some discoloration from the sun, but... He calls it royal, so...
And I'll take one of the green cloaks that Anna got.
Do you want one that matches your skin tone?
Yes.
I've got this one. He pulls out a almost black. It's like a very light bit of green as he just kind of hands it to you.
Or just looks at it. Looks back at him. Looks at it. Okay, how much do I owe you?
1 gold for the lot.
Anna's gonna hand him 5 gold and tell him to get out of the city before the rest of it falls apart.
As Elred
think-
sees the...
Go.
I was gonna say, as Elred sees the 5 gold be taken, he just starts gathering up all the clothes. Yeah, she's paying for all of it.
Do you grab the cloaks? Okay. Just making sure. He kind of looks at Anna and kind of bows graciously as he's like, "Thank you. This is much more than I requested, but I can't leave the city. This is my home. This is all I know."
Well, then be careful and take care of yourself.
Of course. Then I assume you guys are walking away at this point.
Heading to the butcher to meet up with Dress.
Okay.
And
As you guys were shopping at the cloaks, you saw the direction they went. It's not too much further from where you are. But Traston and Jacob, you find yourself in the butcher shop. Seems to be pretty stable. The building itself doesn't seem to have any noticeable damage, at least not from a outside or inside structural integrity. You see a rather large man standing behind the counter. Looks to be human. He's kind of got an apron. You can tell by the back of his neck where you see it kind of connect in the back there. Just kind of chopping at some what looks to be some kind of deer.
Howdy. I was just in the area. Wanted to figure out if you happen to have any hides you haven't sent over to Tanner's yet, or haven't discarded.
What kind of hide are you looking for?
Honestly, I'm thinking any kind of decent size, good buck or doe hide, or even a steer will do the trick. Something decent amount of material.
I just butchered this one. I think I threw the skin on the floor in the back. Let me go get it. As he kind of pushes back through this almost like old or Western style gate there where it just kind of swings back and forth. He comes back out holding this pretty large, what looks to be a buckskin, just based off of the large size. It's still dripping with blood as he is very recently skinned this. Is this good enough for you?
That you know what, that would be perfect. When was the last time you might have sent something over to the Tanners to get going?
It was probably a couple of days ago.
So you might think he might have like a fresh batch ready to rock and roll?
Probably. Or just finishing up a recent one.
Tell you what, I'll take this for now. Would you charge me for that, or how would this work? Are you sure?
Yeah, Tanner's busy enough over there already. He's not going to
so-
notice one little missing piece.
Tell you what, I'll give you 3 gold for that. Son of a bitch right there.
Much appreciated.
Would you mind clean up a little bit? Just getting it. Just give it a wash. Maybe kind of get the gristle off of the fur.
Yeah, it'll take about 5 seconds here. As he kind of walks over to what looks to be like a sink. And he just kind of puts it under the water, and then like a towel just squeezes it together to like drain it out.
Rings.
Yeah.
Is he like a
As
Goliath
he's just-
or something?
He looks to be a very large and possibly overweight human.
Has
But
Anna,
he's done this quite a bit.
have Anna and Elred made it there yet?
As you guys walk into this butcher shop, you just see this very large human over what looks to be a sink, just turning this deer skin like it's a piece of paper towel or a blanket. Just twisting it as you see what looks to be a mixture of water and residue blood from the skinning just dripping into the sink.
And do you happen to have any extra twine or sutures I might be able to acquire? Or requisition from you? An extra suture or even some basic thread will do.
I think
Doesn't
my
have to be
wife's
the-
got something
have to be
back
fucking
here.
twine just yet.
Yeah, let me go check my wife's junk drawer.
And
She keeps a lot
while
of
he
crap
does-
in there.
While he does that, does Elred see Jacob in there?
You hear the door open. As you turn around, you see Elrid. Or, actually, never mind. You are Elrid. As you walk in, you do see Jacob standing next to Traston. Just kind of keeping an eye on things.
Jacob,
at this
Jacob.
point-
This
What?
yells out to Jacob.
What?
As a sign of our newfound friendship, I've bought you something. Pulls out the pretty pink cloak. If you don't accept this, I'll consider this an insult and we'll never be friends.
What in the hell do you have right now in your hands? What is that?
That is a cloak.
Why is it that? That is that's an invasive coloration
It's perfect for Jacob.
and perfect for just about anybody looking around to find anything. What? How does it dye even? But
It was specially made just for Jacob.
While they're having this conversation, Anna's gonna catch Jacob's eye and kind of motion for him to walk over to her.
How are you motioning? Like, just with your hands, kind of like...
Yeah.
Do I see Jacob starting to walk away?
Both Jacob and Elrid, give me a perception check.
17.
13.
You do see Anna gesturing. Both of you see Anna gesturing. She's trying to do it secretively. But, Elrid, you kind of catch a glimpse out of the corner of your eye of Anna, like, looking at Jacob and Jacob looking at her, like, trying to rush him over there before you notice.
Elred's gonna misconstrue that as she wants him to come over there, so he's gonna be like, "Hold on, Anna needs me here. Take your cloak."
Oh, I'm not
shove
done
it,
with you.
shove it in his hands, and just walk over to Anna.
what?
Why are you like this?
What do you mean?
So,
Why do you treat him this way?
No.
Anna's
There's this-
gonna walk over to Jacob and take out the blue cloak and say, I thought you might want this instead, and hand it to him.
It was a sign of friendship.
He takes the
It
blue
was
cloak.
not.
Okay. You now have pink cloak, blue cloak.
Fusion, huh?
he's wearing.
Invisible
Wait, I have a
blue.
question. Are there fat fairies who are changing his armor between the pink and the blue every few minutes?
No.
Did you not
Or-
get that reference?
No.
Did you have no childhood?
No.
The green one is now a fish. The pink one is now a shark.
No, I meant like they were changing the colors between pink and blue like the end of Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, I was lost on that as well. Then.
I hate all of you. Screw you guys, I'm out of here.
Sorry.
Jacob, you do remember you have your invisibility cloak. The only problem with that is putting your hood up makes you disappear.
Poof.
So, you do have a cloak. It's just whether or not you want to.
Elrod's watching.
Thank you, Tea Garden.
Elrod's watching intently on which one he decides to put
At
on.
least one of us actually has a fucking childhood.
I believe Neptune was going to say something as well. I just couldn't hear him over everybody else.
Oh,
Probably.
no, I said something about him already having a cloak.
Yes, he does have a cloak.
Okay.
But the only time you've seen him with his hood up, you haven't seen him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, a couple of minutes later, the butcher, you kind of hear him rifling around. It sounds like a very large drawer that he is opening and trying to. You hear grunts coming from the back.
From the
He is
giraffe.
just
It's junk.
as he is just mercilessly trying to open this drawer. A couple more minutes later, the grunting seems to have stopped, but he does come out with a very small spool of what looks to be just a basic white thread. I doubt she'll even know it's missing, but don't tell her I gave it to you or she'll crush me.
Well, not hear a word from me, and I flip another gold coin.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, my.
Anna's gonna look over at the butcher and say, "We might be leaving for the desert. Do you have anything that's maybe salted that will keep?"
I salt all of my foods to preserve them, but you have to cook it.
I'm assuming you don't have anything that's already cooked.
Not that it's going to last in the desert. It'll get sand. You can cook the sand off. Adds a little bit of flavor, actually. Dirty, but flavored.
Anna's gonna ask if he's got some kind of like steaks or roast or anything like that that she can go on ahead and buy and then maybe try to cook those on their way out of town.
I've got this deer here that I just, slashed. Oh. This man's taking the... As he's still kind of wringing it out a little bit. The hide. He traded me a couple gold pieces. What kind of meat are you looking for? Deer's the one I've got the most of right now.
Deer's fine. You guys will eat that, right?
Which one of
Yes.
you is vegan?
None of us.
Okay.
I thought one of them
What's
didn't eat
vegan?
meat.
Leo didn't.
No, other
Leo.
campaign.
Other campaign.
Oh.
Correct. So, how many pounds are you looking for?
Yeah, you see my dice.
8?
8 pounds, you say?
Yeah, that should get us through the desert. Wouldn't you say, Traston?
Should be fine. Hell, that should be more than enough for the desert and for a while.
That's the plan.
Okay. Since he's already given me a little bit, I'll charge you a gold.
Anna's gonna give him 3 gold and say thank you for your trouble.
Thank you. I like you guys. You give me more than I asked for. My wife will be happy. As long as she doesn't realize her thread is gone.
What thread?
Now you're thinking. Yes. And Treston, just give me a perception check real quick.
Okay.
Sir, do you know which way it is to the tanner? I'm assuming he's asked for that because
22.
he would like to
Okay.
have
It's,
it.
he kind of points what looks to be further down in the direction where Lee was pointing. It's down there on your left. Tristan, looking around the room, the ceilings seem to be unusually high. Like 10, 15-foot ceilings. The doorway itself seems to be a little larger as well. It seems to be about a 12-foot doorway. Yeah. Based off of the drawer, his grunting, you can probably make the assumption that his wife is probably a big lady. Yep.
So I know where the tanner, we can go ahead and head out. I appreciate your time, my friend. What was your name again? I didn't quite catch it.
It's Arthur.
Arthur.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pendragon. We will be.
How'd you know my last name?
I live here.
I don't see you around much.
Work at the temple. It's been a minute. It's, you know what? It's probably fine. We can head on that direction. I appreciate your patience and your business, my friend.
Yes, thank you.
Take it easy, Mr. Arthur. Okay, leaving now. And then turning the heel and picking the hide.
Yes.
Wrenched fur hide.
Hey, it seems to be wet.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be as wet as you thought it would be, but doesn't seem to be dripping as much blood as it was when he originally showed it to you. I assume the rest of you are following as well?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So, takes you a couple minutes. You definitely see the sign. It looks to be a tanned hide. This part of the city, where you currently are, doesn't seem to be hit as nearly as bad. You see a couple bits of wood and debris on the ground, but nothing seems to have impaled or broken any of the structures around. So the further you go down this way, the better the city itself looks. You kind of walk into the tannery there, and you see a pretty slim elven individual. Face seems to be pretty shallow itself. Probably looks to be 120 pounds. So it looks to be a little bit skinnier than most, but seems to be in pretty well health, just from a quick glance. As he's kind of working on the bench, kind of forming the leather to a specific shape that he's looking for.
Off-topic question.
Yes.
Would Tristan know where general magical items would be sold?
Based off of previous talks
any.
with Emery, the shops that did sell the magical items, the shop owners seem to have been captured and taken away already. Which is why the city doesn't seem to be as busy as it used to when you were originally here the first time. As far as his knowledge goes, there really isn't any more shops here that would sell magical items. At least none that are
Advertised.
right.
Would I know any like on any kind of like backroom dealings, or not necessarily like advertised? We sell magic items, but you can like ask for the crimson rosebud, and you get like, all right, here's the real shop. Anything like that going on?
You do recall that in your past, there was a tavern on the first level. It was near the exit of where, well, the entrance or exit, depending on where you're walking from. Eastern side. You remember an inn. You don't recall the name of the inn because it's been a while, but you recall being able to walk in there and order something specific to essentially go into a little auction area, so to speak.
Okay. No, do you remember what that thing was that I have to order?
You do.
Thank you.
Yes. So, you guys are currently in the tannery. What would you like to do?
Okay. Do we need anything else? Dresden, mainly asking you since you're the one that's most familiar with this area.
We got a good size, well, I imagine between us we have enough supplies and just general tools to have a decent tent or shelter. Durable enough to withstand the wind.
Alright, does anyone else want to look around? Anything else that you think you need?
Does anyone not have any fire starting materials or tools available to them?
So, I guess I do have a question here.
Okay.
Like, looking at everyone's equipment, like, what does it look like? Like, what's Traston wearing, Anna wearing, Elred's wearing?
Traston seems to be wearing a like half plate. Elred seems to have these very dark leathers. You've never seen him take them off. Jacob seems to be wearing a pretty basic attire. Looks to be he's probably hiding his armor underneath this black garb that he has. And I believe Anna is also wearing a plate of some sort.
Anna's wearing adamant plate or adamantite plate.
Yeah.
Or something.
So it looks like she has a set of full plate on.
Like, so I would ask Traston, would the desert affect you guys wearing metal armor, or?
It sure as hell gets hot. I will be removing my breastplate while we walk.
So would you think that maybe you should grab some leather armor to replace it for the time being, or?
No.
No, I'm just asking.
Anna's
That'd
gonna
probably be
shake her
hotter.
head pretty adamantly and say no.
Okay. I just don't want you guys to overheat in the armor, so that's why.
I'm used
Well,
to heat
since
out
you
here.
can make water, we should be fine.
Is it cannibalism? If you try to drink the
Sorry.
water, man.
My
a straw in his
freaking
neck.
headset cut out.
It's not cannibalism,
Uh,
it's ingenuity.
Anna said that she is fine with her armor, since you are able to create water at will, and if it comes to it, that they will cannibalize you and drink you.
Uh-huh.
Finally useful for
I don't
something.
remember agreeing to eat the water, man. He's like 1,000
We don't-
years old.
We
That
don't
water's
eat the
got to
water,
be
man. We
stagnant.
drink the water,
But it's
man.
gotta be packed with minerals.
150.
Lots of iron.
Yeah, but isn't it kind of like when you like get a glass of water and you lay it out on, like you set it out on your nightstand overnight, and then you wake up in the morning and you drink it, and it tastes like distilled water that you get from the store? Like, no, I'm good.
Well, more waterman for me.
It's just well water.
I mean, I was also like exhorting blood and stuff too. That's,
There's
Lots
a
of
dog.
iron.
So, are you guys
There's
doing
one of
anything in
them.
the tannery then?
Whatever it is that Traston brought us here for.
You guys wanted to go to the tannery. I didn't need it.
I thought you wanted to go to the tannery.
You said something about
you-
going to the
You
tannery.
did say something
the
about
one-
it. That's why we're here, because you
You're
said
the
something.
one that suggested it.
I
You
I
asked the
told the
man.
butcher I knew where it was. We didn't have to get directions from him. I'll lead you to it because I already got what I needed. I got to hide from the butcher. I don't need to go to the tanner.
You said you were on
I
check
thought you
the
said-
I
tanner
thought
as
you
well.
were gonna
Go
see
to
if he
the
had
tanner
anything that was
afterwards.
already ready.
You're like, I'll take
Yeah.
this for
I asked
now.
the butcher if he had any, but I didn't.
No, you said that we would go to the tanner and you would talk to the tanner and see if he had anything that was a little bit more ready
Yeah.
to go, because this is still
Not
wet.
so.
You definitely did.
You did say
for
that.
sure did.
Definitely did.
All five
Four
of us.
against
You
one.
definitely said that.
It's on
He
video.
said that before he bought the
Correct.
the
Before I
tan, and
bought
then
the hide
Yeah, but the
that I
hide
would have
hasn't
bought
been
at the
cured.
tannery, but after the butcher said he probably already has business, he's already busy. I'm like, okay, this is fine. And then you all
Okay.
came along and were like, all right, where's the tannery at? And then I'm like, I know where the tannery is. I'll take you there.
Okay, if you guys aren't doing anything in the tannery, that's fine.
Yep.
The
Fucking bongs.
the elven individual just kind of looks up, sees you guys walk in.
Our
You guys
bickers
turn
for
around
5
and walk
minutes.
out.
I didn't say we walked out.
Okay.
Shut up. Tristan, what were you going to ask the tanner for?
I wasn't asking the tanner anything. I brought you guys over here. I got what I needed. I hold up the still wet deer
What are you
hide.
going to use that for?
I got a couple things.
Would a dry one that's done already be a better option than the one that is still sopping wet and has blood coming off of it?
It doesn't have any blood on it anymore. I just gotta shave it.
Anna's,
fine.
Anna's really close to punching Tristan.
And a tan hide will be worse for the application I'm going to be using.
We walk out of the tanner.
Hold on.
I didn't walk in.
I go up to the tanner and I say, "Can I get some water skins? The biggest one you can have."
We go back into the tanner.
He kind of looks up
Because
and
we don't have any water skins.
That's what I got that hide for. You don't want tanned hide for a water skin.
Well, we don't want bloody water.
he looks up.
Do you have any bottles of Ice Mountain?
There is a mountain, and it is made of ice.
Preferably Evian if you have it, the big liter bottles. Those are glorious.
I require Fiji.
I unfortunately do not have that on tap as he looks over to his sink.
You have Perrier?
You don't have Boss?
Do you have Perrier?
I do not. I do not have that either.
What about the what's that? It's that high pH darker water. Mineral water.
Dirt water? I can put some dirt in it.
Do you have any?
Do you have any some Propel? I'd like
Propel?
some Propel, please.
I can
have any
propel you
Gatorade?
out.
That's like adult Kool-Aid.
Do you have anything magical that would help with memory? Our friend here, Tristan, seems to forget things.
I hear water
Short-term
does
memory
wonders.
loss.
Check the VOD.
I hate all of you.
So, the water guy said he wants a water skin. I'm assuming he's looking for a home.
He just needs skin.
No, we're going out
Does
into
it
the
shelter
desert.
me from the desert if I just hang out in the water skin?
How small can you make your body?
I have no idea. Do you have...
Wait, if you cast shape water on yourself, can you shape yourself down into the water skin?
I am a freaking genie. Rub the lamp 3 times. to
Nobody
get me
touched
out.
that lamp.
Until Elred accidentally drinks it.
Don't rub the lamp. You don't know where it's been. You don't know what
Then
part
you
of the
gotta
lamp
wait for
you're
him
rubbing.
to pee you out.
You just
Okay, so, you want water skins, you say? You want how many? I've got, I think, 3.
We'll take all 3.
Okay. That's a gold apiece.
Anna puts 5 gold on the counter for his trouble. She apologizes for her friends and then she leaves the shop.
He looks down. He takes the money. He puts the water skins on the table. And he just looks very concerned as you guys have just been standing in his shop going back and forth about he doesn't even know what. It's just like, why are these people arguing right here? Okay. So, he hands you the water skins, takes the money. He kind of nods his head, and I assume you guys walk out, or are you staying in the... Are you staying
Anna
here?
grabbed
any...
the water skins and left.
If any of you stay here any longer, I'm going to charge you a loitering fee.
Edward's fallen Anna.
I leave as well.
Okay. Where is Anna heading?
Just outside.
Okay. You guys all kind of scamper out as you just see Anna pacing in a circle. Looks to be somewhat agitated.
Would you say we waddled?
I would say
I'll
one of
murder
you
you.
waddled. But, where's your next destination?
Preferably someplace where we can fill up the water skins we just bought.
What time is it?
I'm heading back.
Okay. It's probably about 1-ish by this point. And you're heading back to the temple? Okay. You guys start to see Traston make his
And I want to
way.
leave before they come back out.
You want to... you cut out there for a second.
I want to leave before they come back out.
Anna's already out there.
No, I never went in.
Ah, okay. So you make your way to the temple.
Then
None of
wait, how did
see
you have the
anything.
conversation with us?
I was not speaking as Traston.
Okay, so Traston's heading back to the temple. None of you really notice where he's gone to, but Elred, Neptune, Jacob, and Anna are all currently outside the tannery, looking around. Traston doesn't seem to be in the immediate vicinity. What is your guys' next plan? Anywhere else you want to look? Anything else you want to do?
When Anna goes out and notices Traston's not there, the first thing she's gonna think is that he went back to the temple, so that's where she's gonna start walking.
Okay. And the other three?
Follow along.
Okay.
Jake's gonna follow along.
okay.
He's gonna pick some pockets while he's walking, though.
Give me 2 sleight of hand checks. And
First
Traston.
one is 24.
Okay.
The second one is also 24.
Okay. Traston, you managed to make it back to the temple. It's not too far of a walk. It's probably 10 minutes. You left about basically when the rest of the party walked in. You can assume it probably wouldn't take long to walk in and purchase something, so you probably got about 5 minutes ahead of them. 5 or 10. So, you've made it back to the temple. What would you like to do while you're here?
In the 5 minutes or so I want to fill up a pot with some any water that I can find around temple.
Okay.
And start shaving the hide.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a survival check. Jacob, on your way back to the temple, you managed to pick the 2 people that you seize pockets. One of the pockets you find a... 19, okay. You find a moldy piece of cheese. Looked to be their dinner, probably. In the other one's pocket, you managed to swipe their potion of greater
Dinner.
healing.
Okay.
Oh shit!
Lovely, we have a thief in the party.
None of you noticed.
I
He
know.
seems to be following the back. But,
I
He's
mean,
going like full Assassin's Creed 2, just like ball tapping and.
basically. So easily enough, Traston. You find a pot just kind of in the kitchen area, right next to a water spout. You fill it up. You start doing your thing. You manage to get the hair off probably within 10, 15 minutes. It is a large hide, but you're pretty used to this, living basically on your own for a while and being forced to do it in other situations. By this point, the rest of you kind of... Actually, Traston, where were you trying to perform this action?
After I would have just headed back to the forge because it's basically permanently lit.
Okay.
So I was going to use that as a heat source.
So, you guys managed to make it back to the temple. As you guys walk in, you don't see Traston in the foyer at all. But you're in the temple. What you guys like to do? Or go?
Anna's gonna look around for Traston.
Is there specific areas you want to check? What order do you want to check them in? That kind of thing.
I mean, he always goes to the forge to polish his armor and stuff, so that's probably going to be the first place that she thinks to check because that's the that's the place she sees him the most.
Okay. Anybody else checking anywhere or doing anything?
Elrod's just gonna prop himself up against the wall and
Okay.
just take a little rest there, just waiting for them.
Okay.
I guess just getting provisions and stuff together.
Okay.
Ooh wee.
And Jakob?
He's gonna stand across from Elred and just stare at him.
Okay. So, Neptune unpacking basically all the rations, trying to divvy them out as best he can, trying to, build little packs in case something were to happen. Jacob giving Elred kind of a death glare, with the only thing you're seeing is his eyes. You can't really tell much of his facial expression as Elred just kind of leans up against the wall and starts to get a little cat nap in. Anna, you make your way into the forge. As you kind of walk in, you do see Traston a little bit closer to the back. Seems to be closer into where the flames are being generated as he's trying to... looks like he's trying to boil a pot of water, essentially. He's got a full pot, and he's got a razor, and he is shaving this leather. Or, well, hide. Can't shave leather.
Anna's going to walk over and ask if he needs any help.
Should be good for now. It's pretty straightforward from here on out.
Dost thou require assistance?
The book and skinning it, so easy part's done.
Okay. Yeah, and she would have came in like right as you're finishing up that hide. So.
Okay. Then she's just going to say, is there anything else you want us to get before we go?
In a perfect world, I would have grabbed a bladder instead, but this works.
Do we need fire starters or anything of that nature?
I should be set, but if any of y'all need any extra tinder, I'd recommend trying to stock up. Start with some of the ruins, some wood splinters that won't be any use. Shrapnel and whatnot.
All right, Anna's going to go out to the rest of the people and tell them what he said and then try to go find some
Kindling.
splinters of wood.
Okay. As you kind of walk out, you kind of see Elred getting a little nap in, Jacob staring at him, and Neptune's kind of got what looks to be a blanket, and looks to be like divvying out rations, trying to make it a little easier on the travel, so you guys don't have to unpack everything all at once. You guys are told by Anna that she's going to go look for some kindling for future fires in case you guys settle out in the desert for the night. Is anyone going to follow her or do anything along those lines?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
I was more going to ask one of them to go do that, and then I was going to cook this meat that we bought from the butcher, so that way it was ready to go and all we had to do was just heat it up.
With that knowledge in mind, what would you guys like to do?
Once it's fully shaved, I'm gonna start cutting it into good size chunks.
Okay. It's probably
And then-
about 3 by 4. 3 feet by 4 feet. So.
Elrod's still gonna be fast asleep.
Okay. Elred seems to be completely disregarding you, Anna. As for Jacob and Neptune, decision is theirs.
I'm still getting ready, ain't I?
Yeah, you're still kind of prepping stuff, but Anna's kind of insinuating that she would like one of you to go grab some of the shrapnel that was explodified upon the city to make a fire.
I can get some.
Okay.
I mean, I would guess me and Jacob would be the fastest at it, so I guess we both head out.
Okay.
Anna's gonna smile and say thank you, and then she's gonna go start trying to cook this meat.
Okay. Easily enough with your guys' passive perceptions, you find quite a bit that seems to be relatively decent for starting a fire. You also find looks to be some dead foliage that you could use to at least get the fire started. So you've probably got enough for 4 decent fires. And possibly a few scraps if you absolutely need something for extended period of time. So, just walking around just the temple area, it probably takes you about 10 minutes to gather all that up. It doesn't take long, just because there's so much.
While they're gone, once the pot starts to boil,
Mhm.
I'm gonna grab my spare cloak of the fourth.
Okay.
Tear a couple long strands off.
Mhm.
And just put it in one of the crucibles.
Okay.
And place it not on direct heat, but so it cooks the cotton.
Right, within proximity to kind of heat it up.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Anna, about 15 minutes later, you see Neptune and Jacob kind of walk in, and they got their arms full of looks to be kindling and some dead foliage, some leaves, some grass, some weeds, stuff that you would normally start a fire with. Elred's still fast asleep.
Jacob's gonna accidentally drop a piece of the firewood on Elred.
Accidentally or
drop it.
I have my fingers up doing the quotation marks.
Give me a dexterity check to see how accurate. Actually, wait. Give me an athletics check.
Oh, thank God.
Elred, insight.
Oh, I rolled an 18 plus 0.
So
Okay.
do I notice it starting to fall?
Give me an insight check.
Well, I always roll a 9, so
Okay. So it's what, a
22.
plus-
Or no. Yeah, 22. 22.
It doesn't
I
seem
rolled
to be falling as much as you see this utmost quickness that he knows exactly the size of this one piece of wood that's in his right hand as he's walking past Elred. You see him drop his hand, pull it up, and slide it above it as the board is falling.
Can
The
I try
boards-
to catch it with my foot?
No.
And
Not
flip
without
it up
dropping
onto
everything. Not without dropping
was-
everything you have. Because he's
Okay.
he's about 5 feet from you. You'd have to sprint with it, and then
I
Half
mean,
a
I
second.
moved 45 feet.
you don't even see the boards above that one move as he just
Okay.
instinctively drops this one piece of wood. Elred, you feel something hit your foot.
The moment that it hits my foot, open my eyes, look in front of me, hit whatever's in front of me.
You may move at 45, but the wood's moving at 191.
Okay.
I tried.
And this is just an instinctive reaction of when he was a child, being in the slums, things hitting him or attacking him while he's asleep.
Yeah,
As hard
it's
as,
nothing to do with the fact that you think it's funny that you two's characters hate each other.
as hard
Jacob?
as he can.
Acrobatics with disadvantage.
Wouldn't that just be straight up dex save?
Alright, first one's 24. Second one is 27. I have good decks.
So, because you know you did that on purpose, you know how Elrid typically reacts as he, without even opening his eyes, just thrusts his fist forward as you just kind of hold the wood in front of you as you bend backwards, and his fist goes between your face and the wood. As he pulls it back, Elrid not making contact, kind of opening his eyes.
Sees him, sees wood on foot, punches again. Harder, more accurate, faster, stronger.
Does Anna see this happening?
I shadow step away.
Wait.
Wait a minute.
How does Shadow Step work? I'm pretty sure it says everything you're carrying. But
Oh no, I didn't think about that one.
Whole pile of wood just hits Elrid in the head as you shadow step away. Please do it that way.
I mean, if he's not carrying anymore, like, he drops it to try to avoid it and then shadow steps.
No, I'm
wouldn't
saying
it
like
all
he
just start
throws
to
it at Elrid and shadow steps as the last of it leaves his hands.
fall? Yeah. That's what I was meaning.
I'll say for this sake, to prevent making a much larger scene than is what is already happening.
It's already started,
As you-
man.
As you go for that next punch, you see him disappear along with the pile of wood. As you look left, you look right, and he is really far down the hallway near the kitchen area.
Rage starts sprinting. Pulls sword out. He's going for the kill. He's tired of this bullshit.
Okay. So,
When I said I wanted more combat, this is not what I fucking meant, children.
as you make your way towards him, you see Emery walk out of the kitchen area, sees you with your sword drawn, as he sticks his hand up and grabs your wrist.
Try to dodge.
I don't think you can, buddy. I think you can. This hallway's about 10 feet wide, and
Listen,
you're angry.
I'm gonna need you to
You're
stop
real
sword
angry.
blocking me right now.
I will not allow this
Stop thinking with your sword.
in the temple. If you would like to fight, take it outside.
This look over his shoulder. You, me, outside right now. We settle this.
Settle what?
This quarrel we have. I figure we may as well fight. That way we can clear the air.
I accidentally dropped a piece of wood on your foot. What's the big deal?
It was no accident.
Deception versus insight. Elrid insight, Jacob deception.
Haha.
Natural 20.
Hey, guess what? I got the same thing, bud, and I got a 31.
Natural 20s.
Dual natural 20s. As Elrid, you really feel like there's something wrong, but you don't have a definite proof that he didn't do this by accident,
That
as
wouldn't
you were
stop
partially
Elrid.
asleep.
It's not even just the wood at this point. It is Elrid knows that there is just not bad blood, just an
Treston,
anger
what's your next
between the
couple
two.
actions?
Check the boil.
Okay.
Once you start to get a good toughness.
Yep.
Pull the skins out.
Okay.
Let them cool
Okay.
on the work table, and then check the char cloth to make sure it's nice and black.
Okay. Everything seems to be going exactly as planned. This isn't your first time. Everything seems to be pretty spot on.
Perfect.
So,
Just waiting
I
for
must
them to
ask
cool.
you, Yes.
Throwing the cloth away.
Elred, I must ask you, put your sword away in here. You're gonna scare the children.
Can I hit use my fists instead?
No.
Can I hit him with the wood that he dropped on my foot?
No.
Or can I hit him
Does
with?
Anna hear any of this?
Give me a perception check because you're back in the foyer. You definitely saw Elred run towards Jacob as he disappeared.
Well, children, the natural 20s are coming.
So, yeah, you can pretty much make out their entire conversation. You definitely hear the agitated tone in Emery's voice as...
Anna's gonna walk out there and apologize to Emery and grab Elred by his ear and drag him away.
Resisting. He already put his sword away.
Strength to strength.
Hey, Elrid, I got.
21.
You want to blow some
Okay.
steam?
Same, actually.
What
Okay?
the fuck is happening?
Okay, so as Anna just grabs your ear, you start to feel the little bit of cartilage at the bottom. Like, it feels like it's starting to tear as she's trying to basically rip your ear off, but you're not moving. So, this is going to go one of two ways. Either Anna's going to rip your ear off and Tress's going to have a new ear for his collection, or Elred's going to follow.
Anna's not letting go. Anna's fucking pissed.
Elred's already raged. He's determined.
Elrid,
Wait,
Oh,
you
I
would
have
have
a
an
plan
advantage
for
wait,
you.
with strength
wait.
checks.
Remember the last time?
I was just
You're-
thinking that.
This is the last.
Come
couple
with me.
seconds, though,
Come
because you haven't
outside.
been hit or gotten.
Nope. Advantage didn't matter.
Well, his ear's
Wait,
about to be ripped off.
wait.
so-
Was it advantage or was it +3? I think it was +3.
advantage.
Yeah, no, you can't do advantage after the fact. We already rolled.
If you forgot about
I,
it.
I already rolled advantage. It didn't matter.
Yeah, so, same thing. Emery looks
I'm
pissed.
trying to remind Elrid. Remember that time that we were in the storeroom?
I don't even think you're standing there because he ran down the hall. You didn't say you were running after him, so you're not even there.
All right, fine.
He's nearby, like he can hear Elred screaming, because Elred's pissed.
Everybody can hear Elred screaming.
Exactly.
That's why Anna's there to begin with, because she heard his dumbass screaming again! At Jacob, again!
So,
So, Elred will come, but he is not happy about it.
okay. Jacob, you seem to have gotten away this time. Next time you may not be so lucky.
He knows. But he had to get Elred payback for pushing him.
I thought
Okay.
it was for the pink cloak, honestly.
Pink cloak was a gift.
Probably a
It is not-
combination of the two.
Doesn't
Traston,
like my
by this
gift, you
point,
guys.
you've finished those couple of steps. And you've basically got a working thing.
How old is Jacob?
Only a teenager.
He's never divulged his age, and his face looks burnt.
It looks like a old
That's
piece of leather. It looks like the worm off SpongeBob that hates chocolate.
Anna's gonna stop out of earshot of Emery and round on Elred and say, "Can you please be the adult for 5 fucking minutes without me having to watch you two?"
No. He dropped wood on my foot. I know it was on purpose.
He said it was an accident. You have no proof that it was on purpose, and you charge at him with a fucking sword?
Yes. He'd already tried to
Roll-
kill me once.
Grow up.
No.
Anna's gonna look at him dead in the face and say, "Do it again, and you deal with me." And then she's just gonna turn around and walk away from him because she's ready to put Elred's head through a fucking wall. And then she's gonna go find Jacob.
As she says that, Elred looks her dead in the eye. You can see all trust he had for her is just gone. He looks at her like she's a complete stranger.
Well, her heart is broken. How will she ever survive?
She won't. She'll die. Next time she needs help.
Yeah, because you're so helpful. Anna's gonna go find Jacob.
He's still kind of standing there behind Emery. So he's like right there.
She's gonna look at him and say, I don't care whether it was on purpose or not. You two have got to get along or one of you has to leave. We cannot babysit two grown adults. We are guests here.
Jacob just says understood.
And then she's gonna go back to the kitchen and just continue cooking.
Okay. So,
Muttering about never having children of her own.
all right. So let's go ahead and take a quick 15, and we'll be back at about, I don't know, 8:10, 8:20, not 20, 8:15. All right, and we are back. We left off with Traston making some water skins, Jacob and Elrid getting a stern talking to, while Neptune kind of is a little fearful of what may happen if he gets out of line at this point. But what do you guys want to do? Traston, you've basically completed your water skin creations. As you kind of hear a commotion going on near the foyer of the temple.
I start heading that direction.
So, as you make your way into the foyer, you see Elrid kind of off in the center, and you kind of see Anna storming back off from the kitchen area where you notice a piece of wood kind of dropped on the floor. Anna seems to be relatively mad, as does Elrid, as Neptune kind of be a little bit in shock as to what just happened.
What's going on over here?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking everyone. What's going on?
Anna's in the kitchen, right?
You're not in the kitchen, you're in the hallway.
She
Near the
was going
kitchen.
back towards the kitchen, so does she hear Traston?
You do hear Traston, his voice kind of echoes down the hallway.
She just keeps walking.
You see Emery.
She'll explain to the adults later.
You see Emery kind of emerge from that hallway there. Your friends there, Elrid and whoever this other guy is, were attempting to start a fight in the temple.
What? To what end? What?
The big green guy was yelling about something about his foot. The man dressed in black just disappeared and went down the hallway.
Do you two want to explain yourselves?
I don't think Jacob's here.
Yeah, Jacob was standing behind Emery.
Yeah. He basically followed Emery down the hallway as you both kind of came into view. Because you're still carrying this thing of kindling.
He dropped a piece of wood on my foot. Says it wasn't on purpose, but I know him being the sly type that he is, that he wouldn't drop it on purpose.
You've known me for like a day. You wouldn't know that.
You held a knife up to my neck. I get to know you pretty well.
Jacob just kind of looks confused on how that gets to make someone to know you.
Don't you have a, like, ring of peace or ring of truth or something that you can cast on us?
You see
Well, I'm pretty
Emery-
good at telling whenever someone's bullshitting me by myself. But if it gets to it, I'll do it. So, Jacob, why would he think that you purposely dropped a piece of wood on his foot while he was sleeping?
Because he doesn't like me.
Now, Elred, why would he think he doesn't like you? You don't like him.
Yes. I don't like it.
That might have something to do with it.
And why is that the case? I thought we went over this, and it's knives under the bridge.
He comes off as a sketchy character. I don't like sketchy characters. I've dealt with plenty of them in my city.
We met plenty of sketchy characters on our treks across this world. You understand that, right?
Oh, many.
And to that extension, you've probably met plenty of sketchy folk in your time.
Yeah, but generally when they hold a knife up to my neck, I kill them.
And with that said, one could assume that there's a couple folks out there that look at you and say, "Oh, look at that sketchy cat."
That's fine.
So why don't you like Jacob?
Well, he obviously doesn't like me either. I could tell he was staring at me because I could feel eyes piercing my skin while I was sleeping.
I have to watch you. I don't trust you.
See? And then he walks by with some wood, drops it on my foot, dodges the first punch, I have to go for another.
Not trusting you doesn't mean I don't like you.
Now, here's a thought. Jacob, when you purposefully or accidentally dropped it on his foot, was it funny?
I mean, a little bit. I'm sure you would
Elred,
laugh.
could you understand how a man, quiet as shadow, walking through, dropping wood on your green-ass foot, could be funny to some?
No, it hurt.
But did it really hurt? Whoa.
I can hear your voice from all around.
Yeah, that was a little scary.
Uh,
And sometimes there's an echo in here, and it just kind of starts bouncing around. You get used to it after a while.
Can we just
Um,
appreciate that Traston and Anna are literally the mom and dad? Why am I always the mom children?
Hey, Leo had a father figure aspect.
No.
Oh, no.
Everyone was his father figure. Leo was like 12.
I would just respond. It definitely hurt. Not that bad, but it was enough to wake me up from a nice, peaceful sleep.
I'm saying out of a 98, did it hurt at all?
DM, out of a 98, did it hurt at all?
No.
No.
No, it did not.
So, no harm, no foul. You understand? It's if it was an accident, a true, honest accident, and as I say that, I'm going to cast I'm assuming they're within like within the range of me.
Go
Yeah.
again.
I would assume that they're in the range, like around me, close enough that
Yeah.
they are nearby. Okay.
Yeah.
As I say, accent, I'm going to cast Zone of Truth.
Okay. Are you guys willingly?
No.
Yes.
Elred, yes. Jacob, wisdom save.
It's wisdom. Let me double check here.
It was a 19.
It's a charisma save.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good. That was my bad. It wasn't.
What was the
Playing
number
nice.
on die? Wolford?
17, so it would have been 20.
Okay. Yeah. I believe even if he succeeds, you are aware that. Yeah.
So, Jacob, give it to me straight up. Was it on purpose?
No.
Insight check. Because I know he resisted successfully.
Yep. Deception check as well, Jacob.
I got expertise in that one. A 21.
22. 14 plus 8.
Preston, you know he's lying. Definitely silver-tongued, but you're able to pull out a little bit of the...
Well, charcoal tongued, but
Right.
How's that roast coming along?
So, something doesn't add up here. Especially when you lie to my face. Not a lot of people get to do that and do so successfully. So, let's try again. Jacob, did you drop it on him on purpose?
No.
Okay. So, Elred, he dropped it on you on purpose.
ah! just looks at him. Steaming.
But you look like you're standing just fine. What I think we should do is, and I just punch Jacob up in the, like, right beneath the collarbone.
Okay.
Hard enough to hurt, but not like a point of damage. Unarmed strike hurt.
Okay. Jacob, you see
give him a
Traston just reel back and just give you a good old slug right to the shoulder, kind of like a father figure, as he gives you that good old collarbone punch. It kind of stings a little. It doesn't seem to hurt super bad, but you can definitely tell he wasn't using his full strength. And any harder, it probably would have knocked you on your ass.
Jacob puts up a front like he took no pain.
So, Wood Under the Bridge, take 2. Can you two be trusted to be in the same damn room together without trying to get each other killed? Because I need to know that people watching my back and the backs I'm watching are going to be there when we're out in the fucking desert with our wits completely gone. Can't see shit, can't hear shit. I need to know that you two won't try to kill each other in the cover of night while we are busy pursuing more important goals.
Fine.
Jacob nods his head.
Was
Insight check.
Elric Fine truthful?
Yes.
Okay. Insight check.
Do you
of
believe
Jacob's
that?
nod.
I
Alright.
don't believe that.
Jacob, were you being truthful, or were you?
Yes.
Okay. Persuasion versus
I
insight.
thought it was against Elrid.
No, Elred, I just know. Well, no,
Yeah.
if he just nods, he doesn't have to say anything. Only
He
the
didn't
things I
nod, he
said.
said yes.
He did say yes, and
But
he's
he's a liar.
Right, that's
he's
right.
got the zone of truth on. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
I would-
Traston knows he has the zone of truth on.
They don't know they have the zone of truth, though, right?
Elrid
he does.
does.
Elred knows. Elred knows.
Jacob knows it was casted, but seems to have resisted.
Do I need to still roll a persuasion check?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see if Traston believes your truth.
And it was a 23. I'm posting it. It's funny.
I was a 14 this time. 6 plus 8.
Oh, it didn't copy.
As far as you know, he seems to be truthful. He doesn't seem to have that same slippery tongue as he did earlier. This one definitely seems to be more. What's the word?
More
Truthful?
honest.
I don't want to. Honest. Honest is, I guess, the
More
word.
genuine. More
Genuine. That's the
There
word
you
I
go.
was looking for.
All right.
So,
Now shake on it.
Jacob cuts his hand
Just or looks
and
at
reaches it
Traston.
out.
Or looks at Traston. He's just confused by this. Just, yeah, I think you missed the floor. You spit right in your hand.
It's a. Never mind. Shake Jacob's hand and kind of like.
Then there's blood and spit on it. Oh no!
It's curdled.
I hope you don't have any diseases.
Yeah.
Elwood reluctantly shakes his hand and just looks
give me a
his hand
wisdom saving
upwards.
throw.
Oh no!
I'm kidding.
But no, make a wisdom saving.
I thought you were gonna say make a Constitution saving throw for
As I shake
disease.
each hand, I'm gonna pull them, like tug my arm and pull them in, and whisper in each one of their ears. And so fucking help me, Moradin. If you do anything to compromise finding that worthless sack of human shit in the desert, I will personally see to it you are both buried under the dunes before we get back.
Any trust Elred had and trusted is gone.
Am I clear?
Elwood understands the conviction to want to kill a man. He just said, yes.
Jacob just nods his head.
Go back.
I would like it to be known that while this is happening, Anna is raiding the pantry and the kitchen for wine. And if she finds some, she's gonna chug it like a real housewife.
That's
Jacob's
looking
gonna
around.
Get some like communion style spiced mulled wine to get you fucked up.
Anna finds the spiced wine. Anna is fucked up.
Unfortunately, the kitchen is not where he stores things.
Shut up. Anna found the wine.
Jacob's gonna go to Anna and he's gonna give her the greater healing potion he got and said
Okay.
thank you for the one that you gave me.
And as Jacob leaves, I'm just gonna look to Elred. So, conversations aside, you just, buddy, I understand, trust me, I more than most that you know understand that just instant snap rage moment where you're just angry as all hell and want to bite his fucking legs off, okay? I get it. I understand.
His legs are too slender. They wouldn't make a good.
It was a, never mind. So, you don't have to go from 0 to 100 like that every time, in every situation. Those moments,
There's just something that pisses me off about it.
I know, and I understand. You don't have to go batshit crazy every time someone drops a piece of wood on your foot, okay? Because If I had a nickel,
See-
if I had a silver piece for every time.
No, I just Elwood did it just like a. It's the fact it was him, and he tried to slide his way out of it. If he would own up to his actions as a man, then I would be much more understanding. But he's slimy, and it bothers me.
How many pieces of bread have you stolen in your life?
Elwood can't count. He doesn't know. No,
It's more than this many, right?
He just goes. You just see him put his hands up. Just ran out of fingers.
It's more than this, right? It's more than this.
Yes.
How many of those market stalls, bakeries, whatever have you, have chased you down with a sword to try to kill you? Some, probably, but not all of them, correct? Some, you were sneaky and sly and got away without a trace. You learned from the first mistake.
I was beaten quite a few times.
And hey, that happens. But did they draw a weapon to try to kill you?
Daryl, I will understand if you don't allow this to happen. But
Okay.
Elwood wants to pull down just the piece of like living armor he has there and show like a dagger wound from where he was stabbed as a kid by one of the stall owners.
The armor
Because-
just says you can't take it off. It doesn't mean you can't manipulate it to show
Gotcha.
things. So
Okay. So Elwood pulls down that piece of living armor and shows the dagger wound of where the one of the stall owners stabbed him. This is only one of the times that I've been stabbed for stealing in my city.
I understand. Hurt like
There's-
hell, didn't it?
Yes. The first
Well,
time.
not to get caught, didn't you? Maybe not the first time. Maybe after the second or third.
I just
maybe
got
after 9.
I just got really good at fighting and earned my keep. And then I learned to project my image in places, and I was able to successfully fool them after that.
I'm about to say, you yourself are a sly, slippery son of a bitch.
It just looks like he takes pride in the fact that he thinks that he's as sly as he thinks he is.
So, people have their ways around the world, right? I got my, I got Morden keeping an eye on me, making sure nothing weird happens. You got your image
Sword.
projection and your glowy sword. Jacob's got his ways around a room without getting caught.
His burnt face.
That too, but I don't think that's really helping so much as it's it's the intimidation factor. Anyway, regardless, you wouldn't for
I get where you're coming from, Tristan. I will learn to temper my anger and use it at a later time in a more opportune moment. Thank you for the advice. I will stab him later. This guy doesn't say that. he just says, I will learn to cool myself down. That was part of the training I had. I won't. I'll try not to let it get to me as quickly.
You gotta choose the moment. That explosiveness needs to be tempered to fit the situation, because that is where you let it build and you have it sit there in your gut. And then when you're ready, when it's actually time, when your life's on the line, it explodes out of you and you start tearing people's fucking arms off.
I have done that before. It was just one arm though, but then I beat him with that arm.
That's the way to do it. So just if there's not an ill intention besides having a giggle. It's not worth exploding on somebody anymore. You know, like it's just not worth it.
I understand. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about it.
I appreciate
And-
you not murdering another soul inside my temple.
I also appreciate the subtle threat, but I understand the motive behind it and the need want to kill somebody that has caused you much pain.
Trust me, I got that explosiveness too, and I don't want to, you know, I don't want to have to explode at the wrong time as well. Because we'll help each other out. You'll not kill him or fuck with him or anything.
Can I still
You know
fuck
what?
with them?
Here's what you do. Yeah, you can fuck with him. So here's what you do. You need to find like a piece of charcoal or piece of coal, a good one, and some parchment. And there's this trick my cousin taught me. I don't know. Feels like a lifetime ago. Press the part when he's sleeping. You gotta do it nice and quiet, like. Be careful when he's heavy. I think he's a heavy sleeper, relatively. Gingerly press the parchment against his face, and then start rubbing the charcoal on it and getting what's called an impression of his burn.
Oh no! 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 No.
And then you show it to him like an arts and crafts project and say, "This is you. You know what this painting's called? It's called asshole. Stop acting like it." And then you're on the same page.
I will keep that in mind for a later date.
You gotta prank him back. But don't kill him. Don't kill him back. Just like do the
gotcha.
equivalent. Do equivalent or less of dropping a small piece of wood that weighs a couple pounds on his foot.
Not a boulder?
Not a boulder, it's a rock. And not a rock. It's wood and not wood. Well, wood, but not. You never mind.
I'll find some.
You'll figure it out. And I head over to.
She's just gonna be walking the desert. You guys, there's gonna be like a cave everyone walks into. You're just gonna see Jacob walking along, a boulder is following him. Did I do it? I pranked him back. Are you proud of me?
Fucking made a punji trap and. It's a prank.
Pitfall with spikes at the bottom. It was funny,
So-
right?
Has Jacob made it back to the kitchen where Anna is currently drinking the communion wine?
You found a bottle that you believe is alcoholic in nature. It smells hoppy.
Oh no.
As you start to drink it,
Don't fuck with me.
you're not
girl.
getting a buzz. This seems to be some kind of grape yeast byproduct. Doesn't taste great. Doesn't get you buzzed. Now you're just mad as you see Jacob kind of walk in holding this greater health potion in his hand.
What's that? No, we didn't lost Jacob.
No,
Nope, Jacob here.
it's my repayment for the one I borrowed from you.
Where did you get that? I don't remember stopping near any potion places.
I got it when I was out earlier.
Thank you, but why don't you hold on to it? You might need it.
Are you sure? I don't like having debts to people.
You don't owe me anything. We're friends, sort of. You're in the party. We have to watch each other's backs. That means you and Elred too.
We need a name.
When Jacob heard the word friends, he kind of like looks different, at least in the eyes.
Your heart grew 3 sizes, as did your pupils.
No, more like he's
That's
scared
not
of that
wine,
word.
that's the acid.
And you
I
see a
mean,
slight change
the-
in Leo's somewhat facial expression, even though you can
Leo.
only see his eyes. Not Leo, Jacob. Oops. As you kind of see his eyes open up a little bit, just kind of like it's hard to tell the emotion he's trying to convey without seeing his mouth.
Anna's gonna give him like a little like half-hearted smile and then like reach her arms out like she wants to give him a hug, but she wants to make sure that's okay.
She reaches her arms out and exclaims, "Hugs!" She doesn't do that. She just reaches her arms out.
Jacob doesn't just kind of looks confused and doesn't understand it.
Anna's gonna say, "I'm coming in for a hug. Don't hold a dagger up to my neck."
He said, "Oh, okay."
Then she's gonna hug him and she's gonna say, "I'm sorry that I snapped at you earlier. I can't stand quarreling."
It's okay."
And then Anna's gonna say, "Now let's help me find some wine, 'cause you people stress me the fuck out." And
I
then
hope-
Anna and Jacob are gonna go look for wine.
Okay.
Because Anna's still mad at Elred and she doesn't want to talk to him. Because he's a big stupid meathead.
Okay.
Exact opposite of the person who's playing him.
So, as you guys kind of make your way out of the kitchen, kind of wandering around, using your alcohol sniffing senses, you get the faint hint of some freshly fermented wine. But it's behind a locked door.
Anna's gonna go find Traston.
As you guys kind of walked down the hallway, this where you're getting the smell from is kind of near the forge, just further down the hall. But you saw Traston in the foyer, talking to Elred, seeming to give him a stern lecture.
Just imagining the smell coming from the forge. It smells like a wet dog, but gamier.
No, all you smell is roast because Anna is a good cook.
So, you see Traston. What would you like to ask him?
Anna's gonna walk up to Traston and say, "Where did they keep the alcohol?"
What do you need?
I need
We've
to not
got-
be angry. And
I got
that
something for
requires
that.
wine.
Come, yeah, exactly. Follow me this way. I start leading her over to the Emery's study.
Anna follows, purposely avoiding looking at the stupid meathead.
And Traston leads you directly to the door that was locked.
Yeah. I assume on my forge keyring I would have a key to Emery's office.
You would.
I had a quick triple rap on the door. Nevermore.
Doesn't seem to be anybody on the other side.
I'm tapping on the chamber door. I'll go ahead and pull out my the keys and unlock.
Door swings open. You see very immaculate office. You see lots of books lined along both sides of the walls. You see this desk in the center with this very intricate looking chair. It's got some unusual designs. It almost looks like it's in the shape of an anvil, just by looking at it. The table desk itself seems to be made out of some kind of metal. Not sure which type, just by looking at it, but Over in the back right corner of the office area, you see a little cart with a very large bottle on it.
That's the good stuff. I head over, grab 2 glasses, and pop open the bottle, give it a whiff. And then pour 2 glasses. And sit in one of the chairs opposite the desk.
Yep.
Anna's gonna look
Hand
over at
another
Traston
glass.
and say, I want to kill those 2.
Jacob's still standing behind you.
They make me want to kill them with the bickering. Did you get it sorted out?
I gotta sort it out. They understand. But there's going to be some animosity. But live, learn, and grow from their conflicts, and they'll have a happier life.
As long as Elred doesn't try to chase him down with a sword in the middle of the temple again. Should have seen the look on Emery's face.
I can imagine so. I'm surprised Emery didn't hammer him halfway into the ground there on the spot.
I think
He's
if I
done
hadn't
more
have
for
dragged
that.
Elred away, he probably would have.
No. Well, it's weird, this little dysfunctional family we find ourselves.
Does
Yeah.
that mean we're the dysfunctional parents? I don't remember signing up to be a parent.
Naturally, and I don't think anybody ever does.
No, I'm pretty sure there are steps you take that you know that that's what's going to happen.
Well,
None
they
of
sign
those
up for
steps
having
were
a
taken.
child. They sign up for having a child, but they don't sign up for the child that comes. No one ever does. It's never what they expected.
We didn't
Just
even
kinda-
get the fun part first. We just got 2 sassy teenagers.
Yeah.
Anna's gonna take her drink and basically down it, and then push the glass back towards
Oh shit!
Traston and say, fill her up.
So
She's used to drinking in Transylvania, so she thinks that she's got a pretty good handle on this.
that's like that's the special wine. That's like
You
That's
ain't
like
seen
typical
Forge
wine.
Tender wine.
yeah, that's some like fucking
She doesn't know,
Hard
so
liquor.
she's gonna ask you. She grew up drinking vodka. She's gonna push you back and say,
like an
"I'd
80
like another,
proof.
please."
Okay.
She basically grew up
alrighty
on
then.
White Lightning. Okay,
Well, there
she's
you
got
go.
this.
A fall suit.
Okay.
Knock it back and fill up another glass. Make a note to get supplies while we're out. To make another batch.
Okay.
If you know how to make this, you should make more of this, because as long as we have 2 teenagers in the house, we are going to need alcohol.
That's right.
And then she just
I will
holds her
drink to
glass
that.
up to clank to his.
Clink to that.
Down the hatch.
Down the hatch. You know, it occurs to me it's become cumbersome to explain to people who we are and what we do. Like, I'm Tress, and this is Anna. That over there is Elred. The guy behind you is Jacob. And
We
this
have
here's my
sort of
friend
become a
Neptune.
little family.
Yeah.
Maybe it
There's
makes
got to
more
be an
sense
easier
for us.
way to get the point across of what the hell we do. What do we do?
I mean, I guess we could call ourselves the Partridge Family.
Partridge family? What is that? Some kind of bird?
Something like that. Well, what do you suggest? Do you have a name in mind?
Hell if I know. I barely even. I'm recently minted to have a last name, so I'm not exactly one to come to on that.
What's your god's name?
Morden.
What about Morden's disciples?
That's a little presumptuous of the rest of the folks.
Is Jacob still by?
You are still in the room. You're hearing this entire conversation. They're acting like you don't exist.
He hasn't said anything.
Why you're acting like they don't exist?
Do we know he's in? Like, do we see him standing there, or was he being sneaky and like tucked away in the?
He continued to follow you as to not be left alone with Elrid.
Oh, perfect.
He literally followed us in here so we could bitch about him like he had went to bed already.
Elwood's like the
snuck
older
into mom and dad's
brother.
room, and
Mom,
they're just
Dad,
like
I'd
sitting up in bed with a glass of wine, like.
Elwood's like the
bitching
older
about him.
brother that just beats him up for no reason, and then he's just like, "Can I sleep in here tonight,
Chasing him around
Mom?"
the house with a
It's like
hammer,
F is for
like ready to
family.
beat his
I
head
pull
in.
up.
I'm
Jacob,
not
how
touching
old
him.
are you, by the way?
19.
19. Fuck. All right. Hold on. I get up and grab another glass and fill up with wine. Here, go slow. Don't follow our example. Couple years under our belts.
Anna's
We
got
are-
more years than all of you. Do you
Dude,
guys
we
know how old
say-
Anna is?
So Jacob's gonna take the glass. He's gonna, tap it against the table and then down it. I've had my share.
You're
Wine
So-
shots. We're doing
so-
wine shots.
Anna is 150 years old. So she's got a few years on all of you.
I can't do that.
Listen, Jacob's just about BSing everything. He's BSing that he can drink a lot.
So he's a
Does he-
19-year-old man.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Does he-
Makes
does he-
sense.
Exactly. Does he kick it back and is able to hold his stoic facade, or is it give him a little bit of a bite?
Are you asking me?
He feels the smoothness and he's got a little bit of a slight buzz. Not as bad as you would think, him being as young as he is. Still
Anna's
maintaining
gonna-
composure.
Anna's gonna ask for one more, and then she's gonna say that should probably be my limit.
I mean, if we're just hammering them, I got something that doesn't taste as good. That's gonna get you there.
Well, bring it out.
All right. You asked for this. I go over to the desk and open one of the lower cabinets and pull out essentially cactus distill like a prickly
Cactus
pear
juice?
distillation.
You
That's
fermented a cactus.
A
it's
cat?
it's akin
Oh
to
no.
it's akin to an aggressive tasting Everclear. Probably closer to pot still moonshine.
Is this from a cactus?
It is. It is a
Is
cactus.
this gonna be like Sokka when he drinks the cactus?
It's
Yeah,
a little more
That's
aggressive.
exactly
than
what
that.
it's gonna be like. You are gonna end up hugging the porcelain throne, begging that God puts you out of your misery.
And I
Me after bowling.
get the little the itty bitty little glasses out
Itsy bitsy teeny
and
wee.
fill up 3 and only 3. Then close the jar, put it back where I found it. Try not to let them see where I found it. Close the cabinet and lock it.
Anna's watching like a hawk. She is zeroed in on this alcohol.
And I come
me
over
perception.
with the
And give me a stealth, Tristan.
oh shit. I'm still technically
worry.
in my plate.
You're both bad at this.
Am I watching?
That
I
is
don't
a
know, are
7
you?
and a 2, so that's a 2.
Yeah, Jacob would watch. I got a 22.
That's a 28.
Yeah, you
Bottom
both
right
see.
cabinet, keys are. It was visibly locked, and then the keys are in one of my rear left pouches.
Oh no.
Anna's gonna take the shot in her hand, raise it up, and tip it back, and not even flinch.
Your throat feels like it is completely on fire with the proofing of this alcohol.
She's
It feels
not
like there are
flinching.
Like a
cactus
180
pin
proof
needles
fucking-
are stabbing you all the way down your esophagus and into your stomach as this thing almost feels like it set your stomach ablaze.
Not flinching. She is willing herself to keep this shot down, like every bit of respect she has for herself depends on it.
In fact,
Jacob's
even on
gonna
the
do the
side of
same.
the bottle as you guys are both taking your shots, you are vaguely recalling flammable on the side of it,
Most
which is
alcohol
why
is.
you can assume that this is locked away for a very specific reason.
This is damn near gasoline, and most of the time it's used to light the
I
forge
just-
really quick.
I just
It's not
imagine
used for drinking.
I just imagine Elred sitting out there, sees the flammable symbol, and goes, time has come for the new prank. And this
You're
like
not-
to match. I know I'm not there, Daryl. I said I can imagine. It's called your imagination, Daryl. That's what D&D is.
Imagination land.
In a
But-
world of pure imagination.
I need you both to give me a Constitution saving throw.
$18.
11.
Okay.
Oh no.
It's just
Jacob, as this shot is piercing through your inner body, you start to get a little dizzy, and then suddenly your vision starts to kind of fade as everything starts to blur in and out, and you just fall backwards, completely unconscious.
Anna's gonna see him fall down, look up at Traston, and go, fucking kids.
How long does it take me to get up?
you ain't getting up,
I think
buddy.
you mean, how long does it
the
take
milk
you
of
to
a
wake
poppy.
up?
Yeah, it's the question of how long are you out?
While he is asleep, Anna's gonna look at Traston, and she's gonna say, I need to go talk to Elred.
I'll make sure he rolls over if need be.
Thank you. And Anna's gonna leave the office.
As you stand up, the same thing starts to happen. As your vision starts to blur, you start to make your way to the door. As you reach your hand out for what seems to be the doorknob, you collapse face first.
What? I had an 18!
I know. As you fall unconscious on the ground, hand outstretched
Anna's
towards the
gonna wake up
door.
with a fucking dick on her forehead.
Ah, shit.
Are there Sharpies in D&D?
There is ink.
Traston, take her shoes off.
I'm gonna. like
That's all you
as
hear
I
her
was
say
putting
as she
my
starts to
glass
fall
down
unconscious. Take
and
my
putting
shoes
things
off.
away, tidying up, I hear the thud. I'm like, shit.
As
turn around.
Traston essentially freaking poisoned us.
Oh no, not again, not again, not
I
again.
pick up not Elred. I pick up Jacob, lay him in the chair that I was
Yeah,
sitting
women
in,
first.
Okay.
and then I pick up Anna, take her over to her bed, lay her down, make sure she's tucked in, laying on her side, get her
Okay.
comfortable, shoes off, undo some of the plate straps so she's not like laying on the plates.
I don't think she cares.
I don't think she cares, but she will when she wakes up.
She'll appreciate this when she wakes up. At this point, I don't think she cares.
Okay.
And get her sorted so she can sleep soundly
Anna's asleep dreaming
And
of
wake
Burt
up.
Reynolds.
without pain. Yeah.
So Elred's still in the main
It's just bad
foyer,
news
right?
bears.
Yes.
Does he
That's
hear
the name.
any of these thuds?
Smokey and the Bandit.
We're the bad news bears.
Traston, where are you?
Yes.
You're dragging her to her bed. Are you dragging her to the back room, or are you just hooking her up in Emery's office?
I'd say
With Jacob.
probably one of the proper rooms.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a girl. You
That
can't
way
just
she
leave a
can-
girl passed out wherever you find her.
So
I trust the
Jeez,
temple,
Daryl.
but it's just I'm a shivers man.
Chivalrous
so-
man?
Elrid, you
Chivalrous.
see where you saw Traston, Jacob, and Anna go down. You see Traston with Anna slung over his shoulder.
No, it's-
She
it's
looks-
full, like
Oh, fireman
Scoop
carrying
her.
her.
no,
as-
like almost bridal carry, like knees over one edge and then just holding
He's
her back. with the
carrying
other
her
hand.
like Van Helsing carried Anna's body.
Okay. So, as you're walking through this hallway, give me a dexterity check, Traston. Elrid, you see Traston just kind of carrying Anna.
I'm not good at this. Check or
I like
save.
how you're acting like Anna's
Check.
like 1,000 pounds.
Shit.
No. That not strength. Dexterity.
Right.
Right.
She's 100 pounds. He should be able to carry this.
I know.
Okay.
He's not steady himself.
Okay. I'll take that. Natural
Okay.
20.
Okay, good.
Whew. Plus 0, so 20.
So, narrowly avoiding the corner of the wall as you make the first turn, almost
The
smacking
first.
your head. You make your way towards the back. Given her weight, it's pretty easy to kind of maneuver her around as you get her into the back where you guys laid down last time, and you just kind of drop her down on the bed, cover her up, she's on her side. She'll probably be fine for a couple hours.
Lay on the bed, get her boots off, get her plate off. Comfy.
Okay.
That's gonna be she's gonna be in enough pain.
Okay. So,
Thanks for not smashing her head.
I try.
and you just leaving Jacob in that room, just propped up in the chair past him.
They're like Weekend at Bernie's, just like
Okay. So Elrid and Traston, what are you guys doing for a little while?
Elrod's seen the room he came out of. He's gonna go over and look in the room.
Oh gosh.
As you
He's been planning. Look at his face. He's been plotting.
as you walk into the
would've-
room,
started heading back to Jacob to finish cleaning up the room.
right at this point, Elrid saw you go the other direction and decided
Yeah.
to head towards that room as you left it unlocked because your hands were full.
Yeah.
As you make it into that room, you see Jacob in the chair, slung back, kinda trying to somehow hold himself up, but he is completely out.
Flung him up in the chair like this, like he's just
It's
like
bad. Look how happy he is. You demented little fuck. Look how happy you are.
How big is Jacob?
So, what are you doing?
How big is Jacob? How much does he roughly weigh? And just by looking at him,
Jacob, how much do you weigh?
160.
It looks to be about 140.
I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna pick him up in both my arms, and start walking out, taking him up. It looks like I'm taking him up to the stairs to put him in an actual bed.
do I get to the room as he's walking out with Jacob in his arms?
As you are making your way back to go finish up the cleanup work, you see Elrid making his way down the hallway with this dark figure in his arms, similar to how you were carrying Anna. I will give you the option here. Do you want to fail a dex save? Or do you want to try to roll it? Elrid.
Oh, me?
Yes.
I'll try to roll it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a dexterity check.
He was asking if you wanted to fail so you could bash his head into the wall.
Fail on purpose. Crash.
Non-natural 20.
Okay. You start to sway a little bit. Seems a lot of his weight is in his head. As you just kind of.
He just said he's got a big head.
No, I
As
just
it
have a
kinda-
big ass ego.
As you kind of sway one way,
Manifested.
almost hit one of the pedestals that's off to the side, but you kind of swing back. Traston sees you avoid this obstacle. Purposely avoiding.
What?
Not.
Whoa. Oh. I'm gonna.
What? I'm taking him up to a bed.
Can I just like, with a glance, getting like insight into what he's planning to do? Just the look in Elred's eyes as he has Jacob scooped in a bridal carry.
Are you asking me? Are you asking the DM?
DM, like, just looking at Elred, like, is he planning on taking him somewhere quiet where he can sketch on his face?
I don't know, Elred. Are you taking him somewhere quiet?
I'm taking him to a bed. I am taking him to a bed so that I can put him in the bed. What happens after that?
Now, are you
as a
being
form-
truthful or not?
That sounds
I-
very,
I am being
very
truthful
predatory,
that,
Joe.
that I am taking him to a bed to lay him down.
Joe, I didn't give permission.
He didn't give consent.
You dropped your wood on my foot. That was consent.
So he doesn't seem to have any malicious intent initially. He does seem to be carrying him to the same place you placed Anna.
With care, I didn't hit his head.
Did anybody check my roast?
Oh no.
You don't know?
So, but that's
The only people aware of you cooking the roast was Neptune and Jacob, and one of them seems to be passed out while the other seems to be divvying up rations.
I'm gonna take this moment to look at Tristan as he's asking me the mumbled questions, and say, "Where's the closest room I can put him?"
just
You left
hell.
him in
He'd
a-
probably fine in the chair.
you-
it's comfy.
Yeah. He looked like he was gonna have some serious pain in the morning,
Eh,
and not just from whatever you guys did in there. What did you guys do in there?
he had a couple drinks, and got a little too turned.
What drinks?
Some drink. Well, to call it a drink is. It's a little laden on thick. It's more like fuel.
You know that this person is a burn victim, correct? And you just had him drink fuel?
I.
Are
We
you
burnt him
trying
on the
to-
outside.
Are you
Now we're
trying
gonna
to
burn him
finish
on the
job?
inside.
This is a hate crime.
Insight check. I want to know what this motherfucker's thinking to do to him. No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say Traston's just trying to get him fucked up, which he succeeded.
Successful.
They asked. um,
More accurately, you offered, they accepted.
I'm gonna point to one of the like mess rooms that hasn't really that essentially is used for when refugees start flooding the inner foyer area where there's a bunch of cots laid out.
Yep.
Like there down the hall, take two rights and then the left. There's a larger bunk room. Comfy ass beds, better than the cots on the floor. It's more so meant for once there's overflow, we move the the folks that have been here a while back there, and the new folks will be out in the main foyer. That's probably the best bet.
All right. You can follow me if you'd like. I'm
I'm gonna clean up here and probably pass out.
All right.
Neptune's gonna follow you.
Neptune's gonna follow me?
Neptune's gonna follow you.
Okay. I'm just gonna take him to the room, put him in the bed, and walk out.
And then as I go back, clean up the rest of the dirty glasses, I'm gonna head back into the room. I put Anna in and then just fall asleep in one of the chairs.
Okay.
Watch
I'm
the-
going to the kitchen after that.
Okay. Neptune's just gonna keep an eye on Jacob.
Okay.
Someone save the food.
So,
And
what are you doing in
So-
the kitchen?
I want to get a pot, fill it
Okay.
up with warmish, pretty warm water.
Okay.
Street rat stumbles upon gourmet meal in progress.
Do I notice the food being cooked?
You definitely smell it.
Can I sniff
Have
it
you ever
out?
have you ever worked an oven?
Nope.
You don't even know what an oven is. You can smell it.
No.
You can tell where the smell's stronger. You see it in this magical box that's full of heat.
Like a fucking monkey.
Basically.
Whoa! No, he's not.
So-
He's gonna smell it and he's gonna go. Elward wouldn't know to take it out, so he'd probably just leave it there.
Yep.
Is that really
So-
cooked anything?
No, not anything that's other than over a fire.
It's the same principles. When it's too hot, you take it away from the heat.
It just
saves
smells.
the roast, Joe.
It just
It's
smells
all
good.
hot, Tristan.
It just smells good. No,
Please,
he's-
at some point, let Traston stumble upon the kitchen.
Now, Anna, what recipe are you using? How long is your roast supposed to cook?
Low and slow.
How long?
4 hours, 5 hours.
Okay. We'll go
So-
with the first number.
the pot in warm water.
Okay.
He wants to get the pot in warm water.
Okay.
He's going to go up the stairs,
Okay.
and he's gonna look in the room and see if Neptune is still there.
Neptune is still there.
He's gonna place the pot down on the ground ever so gently. He's gonna go in the room, say, look at Neptune. Traston needs help. He is throwing up, and so is Anna. Can you go help them, or at least help me help them?
Traston was fine a few moments ago.
Yeah, but what about Anna?
I believe in her. I think she'll be fine.
This doesn't sound like Neptune.
Traston said she'd be fine.
All right, how do you feel?
I was
about
there for that
pranks?
interaction.
How do you feel about pranks?
Define the prank.
Warm water his hand.
I don't know how I feel about that prank.
You like
You
water?
want to feel?
Sticks his hand in a fucking boiling pot of water while he's.
It's not boiling.
I know, but
Who's
like,
burning who now?
Sick burn, dude.
Is Elward even smart enough to know about this prank?
Elward's very
I doubt
street
it.
smart. Elward is very street smart. He is not smart
Sure he
in
is.
terms of an oven.
He has an intelligence of 17. He knows what he's doing,
He has higher intelligence than you. That's what matters.
but not the wisdom to boot.
Yes.
Not sure how I would feel about that. What's the goal of this so-called prank?
Have you ever heard of this prank?
No.
You put their hand in the water.
Okay.
It's warm. It makes
Okay.
them pee on themselves in the middle of the night.
Damn, Howard is smarter than me.
I don't understand. Why is it funny to urinate on yourself?
Because he will be demoralized when he
It's
wakes
not
up.
funny when it happens to you. It's
No.
funny when it happens to anybody else.
Yes.
I think I've got a better prank for you. He walks over to the pot. He picks it up.
Throws it.
Destroy water. As the pot just empties.
This does not sound like Neptune at all.
He would definitely use destroy water on that. Whether you pour it or you set his hand in it, he would definitely use destroy water. It's water. It's water, Elrid.
Actually, he probably would climb in there and try to take a bath.
I
And then
am
he-
out of the water.
Like a fucking cat in a box trying to get in it.
He
Like,
curls
I
up
fit.
inside the pot. Now
No,
you
he
stick his
goes
hand
the
in.
pot. Now you stick his hand in, and then Neptune just reaches back out with his hand and just holds it.
Listen, I'm just saying it's all fun and games until you accidentally grab something in the water you didn't know was there.
Neptune then amorphs himself into the pot. Now stick him in.
Touch those handles.
Where did the man touch you?
Oh no.
Everywhere.
Oh no! Jacob's gonna molest Neptune, and he doesn't even know it's happening.
This is a horrible prank, and I love it.
the water.
No, he doesn't actually do that, does he?
I'm confirming.
I don't think he
But-
can morph himself into water.
For funsies, I'd allow it.
For funsies, I'd give you the ability to do something that you don't have the ability to do.
Wait.
He's like.
Are you here,
I want-
Alex? Okay, I thought I heard something.
Oh, Romperside has put in his 2 weeks.
Oh no. So,
Oh no! His 2 weeks was apparently a while ago. He's leaving tomorrow.
Said on stream.
What?
it's fine. So,
I missed that.
we will come back to this prank momentarily. Okay, yeah. He okayed it. So, as he destroys the water, he kind of shifts his form down into this pot. It's a little bit bigger than you would think. It's probably it holds a good bit of water. Like, this was no small pot.
It wasn't
Not
a
like
small
you're
pot, no.
no. This is like a giant jug as
Had
he
to be
kind
big
of
enough
crawls
that
in.
Had to be big enough that I could get his hand in there. So he's in there now.
Yes, he is in the pot.
I take the pot, put it down next to Jacob. I look down, shake my head a little bit, wondering if I'm doing the right thing. Have a moral conflict with myself. Grab his hand, put it in the pot. Agree to disagree, it's fine, and just walk away.
As you walk out, you see Neptune's head pop out of the pot. Kind of like a meerkat, just kind of looking around.
I'm finally being touched by another.
So,
Just
what are you doing for next couple hours?
he got a little nap in, but he's probably still tired, especially
Okay.
after all the rage and the adrenaline that popped up and is now gone. He's gonna go to bed.
Okay. So, about 4 hours later, Jacob and Anna. We'll start with Anna. Anna, you finally come to your senses. Last thing you remember is throwing back a shot and the pain you felt. You don't know how you got to where you are. You do realize that you're in the temple still, but the sun's starting to go down and everything after the shot's a blur.
Anna's gonna immediately go the roast and then get up and run to the kitchen.
As you get to your roast, it looks like it's just about done.
Her jolting, I run up and follow her in. What's that smell? Oh, that smells good. Oh.
And then Anna's gonna pull it out of the, like, she's gonna cover her hands, pull it out of the oven, set it down, and then she's gonna say, Chaston, do you want to try it to make sure it tastes good?
I sure do.
And then she's gonna cut a little piece off. It should be Folly a party, which
Okay.
is the best way to make roast kids.
Okay.
And and
I
then
have roast in
she's,
the fridge.
if you would check your freaking Discord messages, sir.
Elred, you hear, as they're getting up to leave, you hear Anna kind of storm off and kind of wakes you up.
I'm not storming. I'm running for dear life because I want
That-
to make sure it didn't get burned up. Like Jacob's face
Right. So,
when the fire
Jacob.
nation attacked.
as you wake up, you start to feel your hand, your right hand specifically, is moist. Almost like it's submerged in water.
Answer the question we all want to know.
Did I pee myself?
Did he tinkle?
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no!
Roll for urination. Voluntary urination.
Roll for the amount of soaked your armor is.
I got 17.
You seem to have retained the liquid in your bladder.
Damn it, Daryl.
As you start to pull your hand out, you realize you can't pull it any further, as it feels like something has a grip on your arm. As you look down into the water, you see a face and an arm holding you.
Am I spooked by face?
I don't know, are you spooked by
Would
face?
you be spooked if you saw a face looking at you from a pot?
It's not your face
Oh,
either.
I punched it.
Castle shit.
I'd go straight to church.
I punched the water.
Alda.
As you punch the water, it makes a splish splash and a ow!
Was he taking a bath?
Why'd you do that, Jacob?
What the fuck are you in my water?
It was a prank. Elred told me to.
He's saying like a
And you
canary.
listen to that man.
He said it would be funny.
You got punched in the face. Is that funny?
Did you urinate yourself?
No.
He said you would. He lied to me. He punched me in the face.
You were in water, holding my hand. What was I supposed to do?
That wasn't his hand.
This is just
As you start to see him come back into shape.
Oh no,
as
where
he-
did my fist go?
your hand is firmly
Right
on.
up the rectum, sir. You fisted him.
No, you punched him basically right in the face.
Punched him in his rectum.
So,
I wrecked him, he wrecked him.
it makes a splish splash. He feels the punch, but it doesn't really do much damage, if any. As he starts to climb out of this gigantic pot, you start to see him take his shape back. And he looks like he used to when he was standing up. I'm gonna go tell Elred that he lied to me.
Yeah, he does that, doesn't he?
He does. This
You
joke.
can't tell, but Jacob's
Didn't
cheesing right now.
Jacob's like, thank God I didn't piss myself.
Your hand does have that like weird look to it, like it's soaked up a little bit too much water.
It's pruny.
That's the
I
word.
look like an
yeah.
old man.
Just on the hand.
Looks like the rest of your body.
Looks
Oh, they
like your
took my
face.
gloves off. Where'd my gloves go?
It seems to be laying on the nightstand right next to the bed. And it's just the one glove. You still got the other one on.
Okay. I put that glove back on.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go look for Traston.
Okay. As you guys kind of exit the room, the faint smell of what smells like a roast is wafting through the air. It seems to be coming from the kitchen. And what you're going to remember prior to taking the shot is you remember Anna saying something about cooking one. You can make the assumption that it's in the kitchen and you make your way there.
Elred's gonna follow the smell as well.
Yes, as you all kind of gather in the kitchen area, you start to see that there's a line of children, and you three are at the back.
I'm
gonna look at Elred,
Bring
I'm
all
gonna
the
say-
boys and girls to the yard.
I'll look at Elred. I said, I know we hate each other, but I want this food.
Does smell really good.
There's
I don't
about
think I've ever
30
smelled
children in
anything that
front
good.
of you.
Can you do your
Anna
little
is doling
steppy-
out
Just
nice
Anna and
helpings
Trask
for
at
the
the
kids.
front, like
I'm,
cutting up and carving like a big family potluck.
Yes.
I'm gonna look at Jacob and go. Can you do
It's
your little,
always
can,
us in the kitchen.
can you do your little
Always
steppy?
us in the kitchen.
Can you do your little steppy thing and get to the front of the line and get us both some roast to come back?
There's not enough shadows.
You're really gonna cut in front of orphans?
Yo, Jacob don't give a fuck about orphans.
Anna's not gonna feed them if she sees them cut the line. That's just who she is. There's no way she's gonna feed the adults before she feeds the kids.
No.
But isn't there shadows coming off the children that are in there?
I mean, technically, he has an invisibility cloak.
How long do I have left on my invisibility cloak?
I believe it's on long rest, and basically you've taken a long rest, so you've got the full time.
Nah,
left.
you said it was only 4 hours.
You guys have rested multiple times in between there.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Continuous.
Yes. So, yes, you have your full 2 hours of use.
Jacob's gonna say loudly, trying to be non-conspicuous. Say, I have to go to the bathroom, so he's gonna walk out into the hallway, put the hood up, and try to get some roast.
I'm literally standing in front of the pot. How do you think this is gonna work for
Hey,
you?
I got some good sleight of hand.
Okay, so
you see a there's a bull walk away.
Traston and Anna, give me perception checks. Jacob, give me a sneak stealth check.
I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace first.
Okay.
So that gives me, what, a +10?
Yes.
Natural fucking 20.
Mine's an 18 plus 12, so mine's a 30.
So, I got a 21 plus 10, so that's a 31.
But Max got a natural 20 and I got a 30.
Okay.
Does
so
Max? Wait, no. I was gonna say, does Max's +3 to? That's only to saves.
I have
You cannot
expertise.
allow them to steal from the children. I have expertise in perception, or whatever.
Anna is very
Proficient.
focused on feeding these children, as it looks like they haven't had a actual meat dish in a very long time, and they're very excited to eat it. Preston, out of the corner of your eye, you could have sworn you saw a piece of this roast float and then disappear. You don't know where it comes. You don't know where it goes. But it happens again.
Again. So, where is it starting to float at?
So you see it
There's a
just kind
point where
of
we're
move.
standing right in front of it and on the pot.
You see it kind
Steals
of
it out of a
move
child's hand.
as he's just kind of pulling these pieces off. And you see it just kind of disappear just about 5 feet to your right. As
I'm
it
only
just
taking 2 pieces, by the way.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it stops.
I go over to stand between wherever I'm imagining the source is coming from and just stare in the direction of where the roast is going.
I want to shadow step to the hallway. Or right behind Elrid in his shadow and tap him and walk into the hallway.
You see Traston staring directly at you, so your first instinct is, I'm gonna run. As you use your shadow step and you kind of poke Elrid on your passing by as he kind of looks around, looks at Neptune like, just disgusted that he touched him.
Now, with what I've seen with invisibility in my day,
Mhm.
I haven't seen it much, but I've seen Jacob use it a couple times now.
Yep.
Would it be a fair estimate to say it's probably Jacob?
Give me an intelligence check, just to confirm your theories.
So, does it look like we're gonna have enough roast to feed all of the kids?
You might have just enough.
18 plus 0, so 18.
Yeah, you can. You've seen Jacob turn invisible at will, just by lifting his hood. And judging off of the weird actions that he took prior as he walked into the hallway and then all of a sudden the meat started to disappear, and you no longer see him, probably a fair assessment to say that he did it.
Also, just want to say, as soon as he feels the tap on his shoulder, he's going to start walking in that direction.
Which
until
shoulder
he
did you
sees-
tap?
Great, we've made them friends.
Jacob, did you tap his left or right?
We made him friends, but at what cost? Hungry.
Whichever one was closest to the
Hungry
doorway.
children, that's the cost.
That would have been his right.
Then
So.
right.
Is Emery around?
You don't see him in the kitchen. So, he taps you on your right shoulder. You're not sure what tapped you. You see Neptune near you, but you feel a tap.
He's probably going to assume that it was Jacob, because that was the last thing that he said he...
Okay.
Like, he's come back with the food.
Okay.
He's just going to go that direction.
Okay. As you make your way out into the doorway, Jacob, are you taking your hood off?
No, I'll just hand him the piece. I'll put it into his hand.
Okay.
Just
It's
roast.
Folly a party roast.
As
Really hot.
you see this piece of meat dangled in front of you, stick your hand out and it just falls in.
Instantly put it in my mouth.
You
Yeah,
get
Jacob
the...
ate his already.
As you place it into your mouth, it almost dissolves as you don't even have to bite into it. It just melts with the savory, gamey flavors of
I
that.
really want
Dude.
There's no
now.
gamey taste in that roast.
It's got a slight hint.
You
It
think
doesn't
I don't know how to cook
harm,
out the gamey taste?
doesn't harm the flavor. It actually improves the umami of the taste.
Umami.
So,
And as he's eating, he's just going to put his thumb up, like... Doesn't know where he's at, but he's just putting his thumb up.
as Elric has
Anna's,
transcended into the food plane.
Anna's gonna look over at Traston and say, Traston, I don't think we're gonna have enough to feed all the kids. Is there any way that you can go get some more roast from the butcher?
This hour, maybe not. But we can probably find something to whip up in the cabinets or pantry.
They look like they need meat.
You need the
I know,
meat.
but our mutual shady friend made off with some of it, so we'll file that away for when he's hungry out in the desert
Oh, no.
or thirsty.
I like that plan. Anna's gonna
Yeah.
forego eating any of what she made, so that way she can try to make sure that all of the kids get fed.
Okay.
And then as soon as all of the kids have food, she's going to grab her bow, and then she's going to tell Traston she's going to go out and try to hunt something outside of the city and bring it back so the kids can have breakfast in the morning. And then they'll plan to leave.
Okay. So everything kind of goes according to plan. The kids seem to be pretty well nourished by the meat. Traston going and grabbing some more. Doesn't take long. The butcher kind of gives it as a kind of extra for giving him so much money for the thread. But Traston, as you walk in there, it's not him at the counter this time.
Yeah.
It's his wife. Big, giant Goliath woman standing about 9 feet tall. Yeah,
Good evening,
she's-
Mr. Pendragon.
Yes, you want some more meat? My husband told me about you.
Yes, please.
Okay. She just kind of lops off about 4 more pounds. Just kind of hands it over. This
We're
is for
gonna
the
need more than 4 pounds.
overpayment. You guys didn't cook all 8 pounds.
My plan was to cook all of it.
20 children are not going to eat 8 pounds of roast.
I don't think you understand how good Anna cooks. The plan was to cook all of it so that way they would only have to reheat it in the desert to minimize the
4
exposure to
pounds
sand.
The 4 pounds is on the house. Anything more, you obviously need
Well-
to chip in a little more.
Anna, we can whip the rest of it, and then whatever's left over, we can use as prepared for rations. And salt it and get some nice jerky going. Or at the very least, just some cooked cold meat. Extra salty.
It's about a gold and a half, so gold and 50 silver for 2 pounds. So if you wanted to get a whole another 8 pounds, they would be 3 gold.
Toss some 5.
Okay. Thank you very much. We will use this to our enhancement and getting more different styles of meats.
Yes, ma'am.
Anna's gonna ask what other meat they have.
Nothing on hand right now. A lot of our other stuff went to the city as they are in need of food right now. We're banding together as a community.
Should we tell them to come to the temple?
And we can. If they got a spot, they got a spot. I don't want to assume too much of Emery. He's already done a lot. But of course, the door's always open. If somebody's looking for a home, send them our way.
We may talk to Emery once my husband gets back and see if we want to kind of collaborate and at least give people a place to eat and sleep, possibly.
We got a pretty modern kitchen. We can use that for putting on some big potlucks, and mess hall's always open.
Thank you.
We'll discuss later.
Yes. As you guys make your way back, a couple more hours pass. You guys finish cooking the rest of the meat just in time for dinner. As you guys refeed the children, ecstatic that they get 2 meat meals in a day. But you guys still have plenty left over for your travels. So
Anna's gonna try to find Emery.
And when we get back, I'm gonna head to the forge and just start getting ready to depart.
okay. So Anna, as you're kind of searching around, since you haven't seen Emery kind of wandering around the building, you make your way towards his office, see if he might be in there. As you open the door, you see a very familiar bottle. You start to have flashbacks. And then you remember your face hitting the ground. You can almost feel like your face hit the ground again. As you see Emery passed out in his chair with the bottle half empty. So, he seems to be taking a good snooze right now.
Anna's gonna put the cork back in the bottle, and she's gonna take the bottle and give it to Traston when she sees him and say that Emery is indisposed in his office and probably will not wake up for a few hours.
As you give Traston the bottle. Traston looking at the bottle. When you remember this thing, it was damn near full. And you know you haven't drank any since. And very few people have access to that office.
Okay.
The man can hold his liquor pretty well.
Yeah.
But but even that is
That's
Fatal?
excess.
no. It won't kill him. He just gonna sleep real good.
Anna's gonna go back to his office and write down the recipe for how she made the roast
Okay.
and leave a note saying that she wishes that he would use the money that they gave to make sure that the children are getting meat at least once a day. And that Traston wishes to speak with him about the possibility of having like a community dinner there to try and help the victims of their community. And then
Okay.
she's gonna go find the rest of the party and say, "All right, are we ready to head out to the desert?"
Yes.
Neptune nods.
Does he?
Yes.
Keep
Neptune
going.
nods.
Jacob also nods.
Okay. So, at this time, it's about 10 o'clock at night. You guys are starting to make your way out of the city. Knowing the desert is up to the north, start to make your way that general direction. You guys seem to be all pretty well rested with your combination of short rests that kind of combine into a long rest. About 10 hours pass. About 6 in the morning, I think. Yeah, 6 in the morning. Sun's starting to come up in the west as you guys finally come up to some sandy terrain.
The sun rises in the east.
You're right. The west.
This is
It
your
rises in the west.
It's your world. You do with it what you want.
As you guys start to get that very grainy feel underneath your feet as your noses start to get coated with a also grainy feel to it. As you start to see the dust kind of billowing in the wind, as you start to see rolling dust clouds periodically through the land, as you start to see the sand dunes off in the distance. You guys have made it to the Whispering Desert. Looking at the ground, it's pretty obvious of the trail that most people follow. You can see on the ground just a bunch of flattened sand. Looks to be pretty flat for the most part. Probably a couple miles ahead. Until it starts to get into those rolling sand dunes. You can see a couple wheel tracks that seem to be relatively fresh, probably within the last day or two. As well as a good amount of footprints that are left about the same time. The sand itself seems to be pretty forgiving in the footprint department. And it doesn't seem to have caused, or there hasn't been a sandstorm as of late. So. Go. Where would you guys like to head?
Jacob said he was in a cart, right?
He did
Correct.
say, yes, that individual was in a cart.
Just marching forward, 1,000-yard stare, following the cart tracks.
Okay. You guys start to walk forward as the land itself starts to not have that same flattened out look, and you're starting to get into these sand dunes. You can still see quite a few footprints and tire trails as you kind of continue forward, and they start to weave off to the left for some of them start to continue forward. The footprints themselves seem to go forward a little bit more, but it seems to only be a couple members that continued forward. There's probably, by your estimates, 6 or 7 individuals that continued north, while the rest of the groups went left. towards the west. So, you guys have an option. Continue north or start to follow west.
So when the track split off.
Yep.
This north one goes west. Knowing what I know about how the fourth operates,
Mm-hmm.
would that pertain to them having a tendency to go north, more north than into the desert?
So while you guys were having the interaction with Lee, Neptune asked if he had any idea which direction in the desert they would have went. Lee at that time said that their members had followed some of the cultists out into the desert towards the west before they were completely enveloped in a sandstorm, and then they lost track. So,
One more time for me.
Lee said that the cultists that he followed previously, or well, one of their other members followed, went west.
That's what I thought.
But they got lost in the sandstorm that randomly happened in that area at that time and could no longer track them because the footprints had disappeared.
Shit, we're closing on 3 birds with 1 stone here. All right, bad news bears. Let's follow it west.
Okay.
Start heading that way.
Sounds good.
You guys.
And I pull my the cloak that was over my armor on the customized side and pull it up over like a turban just to kind of keep the light out of the eyes.
Yep.
Sand out of my lungs.
Okay. So,
I'm gonna unstrap my chest plate and just carry it behind me.
okay. So, as you guys continue forward, I would like everybody to give me a perception check.
I'm sorry, what?
Perception check.
15.
16.
24.
24. Jinx.
What?
Okay.
Screenshots or it didn't happen.
And what is the current marching order?
I'll
I
go
mean,
first.
usually Anna's in front, but I would say Traston knows the desert a little bit better, so Anna's probably behind him.
Okay, so Traston first. Anna following, I guess. So, we got Traston, Anna, Elrid are going to be in front or behind Jacob.
He'd probably be third in the line just because he's
Okay.
more
I
accustomed
want
to
to kind of
being
keep
up
like
front.
not too far ahead of Anna. Just keep side by side.
I'll be behind Elrid. Me and Elrid
I
trust
shot.
each other.
Okay.
Secret friends.
And Neptune's just kind of going to keep
Fucking
watch
Thieves.
on the back here. So, as you guys continue forward, you start to feel the ground shake, and it continues to get louder as you start to hear it.
I don't know what this is.
I would like everybody to give me,
But,
actually, I would like Anna and Traston to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Do I see it?
No.
Shit.
That's a 20, not natural.
Okay.
That's a 5.
Okay.
And if I had my advantage,
Anna, as you
okay, it wouldn't
feel
have mattered.
this ground rumble, you can feel it directly underneath you as you just dart off to the left as quick as you can. Traston not as quick to the draw as you see this giant purple worm pressed out of the ground and consume Traston.
It's
And
Alaskan
that's where we'll pick up next week.
worm.
Every week you cut off on cliffhanger.
Well, next
Not every
episode's name is In the Belly of the Beast. We're going Gears
This
of War
one's
on this
Secret
son of a bitch.
Friends.
I've heard
Secret
of
friends.
yeah, I've heard of like
Hey,
you drink
Billy
the worm. I
here.
never heard of did the worm eat you.
It's Tremors Part 4.
So,
Without Kevin Bacon.
Traston consumed by the worm deep within its belly as the worm starts to fully reveal its body. It's probably 30 feet long, 20 feet in
Why
diameter,
the fuck were we walking when
Actually,
we
it's
have
probably-
magic carpet?
15 feet in diameter. It's a very large
He didn't
worm.
even give us the option to ask.
It's my friend Timmy.
If not specified, I assume walk. So,
Tim
We
Bob.
even said we were gonna use the carpets, and you still said we're walking.
I said you guys got to the desert.
We didn't tell them afterwards.
To be fair, we would have been walking anyway with the carpets above us to block out the sun,
Yeah.
because that's what we tried earlier.
Yeah.
To verify.
So, Traston, eaten by worm. We'll see if he can escape in next week's episode.
Yeah, thanks
Well-
for joining, friends.
It's
Thanks,
been fun.
everybody. See you next
Bye.
Thursday.
Music brought to you by
Bye.
tabletopaudio.com. Free, non-copyrighted music. Check it out. Thanks, guys.
Take it easy.
Yeah.